Deathbringer here, ready to toss your dice and your morals into the abyss. Then back the Roll for Combat Kickstarter, weaklings. It's packed with hundreds of savage, blood-soaked options to obliterate your enemy. And better yet, you'll get to use them in my game, the Deathbringer RPG. Coming next year, the Deathbringer RPG isn't some soft, cuddlecore fantasy nonsense. It's fast, mean, and completely unforgiving. In Deathbringer, you don't save the world. You stab it in the heart, loot the corpse, and set it on fire for good measure. Every backer of the Roll for Combat Secret Tomes for Shadowdark Kickstarter will get an exclusive sneak peek at the glorious carnage of Deathbringer and a chance to play in the beta test later this year. So sharpen your blade, settle your soul, and back it now. Ignore me and I'll use your spine as a bookmark. Back now.
Okay.
It's time for Roll for Combat.
Hey everyone, it's time, and this time we have someone new, someone who's never been on the show before. Seems like we used to have people on the show all the time, but then Derek became like the standard, and because every week we'd have someone new, but then I got lazy.
Did Derek just eat the other guests?
Yes, he did. Well, I got lazy. I just got lazy. And he lost his job, so he's always available. It made things pretty easy because I didn't have to go hunt down for guests. But luckily, Derek is not here today. But we do have Will from D&D Shorts, who's never been on the show. You don't actually do live that much, do you?
I'm not good at it. I feel like I like to have the script there in front of me and take it line by line. So I need to maintain the illusion that I'm articulate and clever. And I feel like that's going to be shattered across the next 2 hours very succinctly. So
I don't know about
but,
that.
You know, you try. Yeah.
I don't know.
I do like how. Oh, right. Sorry. No.
I was going to say, I can't do scripts.
I'm bad at it. I'm talking over you already.
I can't do scripts. But what were you going to say, Will?
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, I do love how, like, long form content, it's very watchable. And I love how that you get such, like, long videos out of it. It's definitely better to just hop on, if you can do it, hop on and go, rather than write everything, record everything, edit everything. It's like a 30-hour process versus like a 2-hour process. So I do love that.
That's 100% right.
I just do not like editing. I find it excruciating. And my videos are so unpopular that I couldn't in good conscience pay anyone else to do the editing any amount of money, because otherwise it would be like 10 times what the videos make. So as a result, I really like doing live content because I can do the thing that I enjoy doing and not the thing that I really hate doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just don't, actually I was talking to someone about this the other day. I forgot who I was talking about. I think I was talking to Baron. I was talking to Baron Durop about this. I was actually at a convention in Pittsburgh, and there was a whole bunch of YouTubers there. Ted was there, Ted from Nerd Immersion. Baron Durop was there.
Ted. Great guy.
Seth Scouts. I can't pronounce the last name.
I've never met him, but I really like his content.
Seth was there. Bob World Builder was there, and Grace World Destroyer. So we went out to dinner, and we were talking about that live versus like recorded. And I was saying, I thought about it. It's like, and I don't know if you have the same experience, Mark, but like I started out teaching in college, and that's live. And then I taught for several years, and then I did podcasts. And when I would do my podcast, that's not scripted. And I did podcasts I've done podcasting for 21 years. So it's not like, oh, you just did it and you were just good at doing live. I actually have been, quote, doing live for like 33 years.
No, I would say that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, I have skill at doing these kind of live improvisational things beyond that. But it is also fair to say that the most popular video on my channel is one of the ones that was scripted.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
that I just did did not enjoy the process of doing that and getting the editing down. And like the second most popular was actually just a collab among multiple channels that somebody else edited. So that's part of our collab. So that was a way that got done. But so it seems like my viewers do like the scripted content as well. I just really enjoy doing the live.
Yeah, I much prefer. I don't know. I can't do scripts. I try to look at a script and I can't read from script. That's about it. Anyhow,
we did have people telling us we seemed a little more stilted with the scripts, but they still liked it more.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. But you can't even tell because Will's so natural. He's so goofy and so animated when he's talking.
It is definitely like you learn to like I write as I speak because I write my own scripts, so it's actually quite easy to come across as normal because I'm just typing as I would say it out loud anyway. Yeah. I think if you get in that vibe where a script is a script, people end up writing things that you wouldn't say. And because I do voiceover every now and then for sort of history documentaries or occasional like in that space, and I have to rewrite them quite often because there's plenty of lines that look fine when you write them down. You try to say that out loud, it sounds ridiculous, and like how on earth can you deliver that? People who are writing without thinking about how it's going to sound, that's a big part of it. But once you get used to writing for performance, I find, like I say, I personally find the scripts really helpful. Otherwise I ramble as I'm doing now. You know what I mean? It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, we'll just let you ramble. No, it's no problem.
Trust me, you cannot ramble more off topically than we do normally on this show.
That is true. Yeah. That's all we do.
Oh no, that's half the fun, isn't it? I've just posted about it on my Discord as well. For some reason, it's not letting me link the live on YouTube, so I'm going to try one more time.
That's weird. Well, just do the share. I've seen that happen. Yeah. Sometimes if you do the share button, it works.
Yeah, I'll try one more time. I'm just trying to make it as a post.
There you go.
Anyway.
That's so weird.
So tell us a little bit about you, Will, because you have an interesting history starting off with YouTube, and now you actually donate a lot of your proceeds to charity through YouTube. So tell me a little bit, because you see, I came in weird. I came in to the D&D YouTube sphere kind of in the middle because I was a podcaster before this, and also the only things I really played actively was Pathfinder, and there are no Pathfinder. There were no Pathfinder YouTubers. There was just a couple, like No Direction, but they were a podcaster, and I would listen to them. Glass Cannon, big Glass Cannon, again, podcaster mostly. So I started really getting into the YouTube space about 3.5 years ago. Mark and I started. By the way, Mark, I think we have 250. This is show number 254, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a lot. I was looking it up.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this a little while
we've
now.
done a lot of shows. You can, like, that's not even close to how many Arcane Mark shows that
I know, and that's not even close to,
like,
I have over 1,000
600 or 700 shows or something like that,
and I have
probably
thousands of podcasts.
maybe 50 to 100,000 views between them.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky.
But that's right. It's like I have 700 shows and 701 views.
Yeah.
And that's not much of a joke. See, that's the fascinating thing. No offense to you, Will, but here we have Mark Seifter, who worked for Paizo, who's written over 200 plus books, co-wrote Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and his show gets 10 views. While we have Will from D&D Shorts, who will tell you all about why combat is terrible and get 1 million views.
Yeah, that's the latest one, yeah. Well, to be fair, that's like a special video, because that's talking about like a deck of cards I made. But yeah, I think that's definitely one thing about YouTube that it's important to recognize is it's very unfair. It's not about, the algorithm doesn't reward like quality. It rewards it just really rewards watch time, and so I definitely do feel that like frustrated. I mean, I think that's and it's the medium as well. That's another thing why like those edited videos are useful, because maybe they just hold people's attention more a little bit. So it's like YouTube does kind of keep it going. But I always say to people as well, like, I don't think views are a very good metric of meaningful content, because if you look at the videos with the highest views on the platform, there's stuff like the kitten wakes up, you know. It's like, it's just all like a baby falls over, like 250 million views, or like two, or like 10 billion views. You know what I mean? It's like crazy. So it's like, in a weird way, what's the more valuable content? Is it something that maybe is very niche, but to people in that niche, it's it transforms their whole life, or something that's very broad, but is just kind of something people watch while they're on the toilet, which is my niche.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Like the other day, there's this guy Steelwind, and he comments on like D&D videos from like every YouTuber. Everybody kind of knows who he is because he comments on stuff. And he was telling me that one of my Arcade Mark videos was on his list of like 150 most important videos for people who are doing like homebrew and house roll. And he was like, it was the when the PCs run a security detail at the princess's wedding. And I looked it up, and he was like, and I think I left a comment stating that. I was like, sure enough, it had 12 views. One comment from him stating that. I was like, wow, yeah, you're totally right. It was on his list, but only 12 people ever watched it.
Yeah, but if you reach, like if you reach 12 people and one of those people need to hear it, I mean, you can get quite serious. Like if there are videos out there that don't have a lot of views that have saved lives, I'm sure, and there's videos out there with billions of views which have probably done significant harm to the world. You know what I mean? Like, so I in a way, I don't like how YouTube is, or like all social media platforms, like all a view really represents, or all a lot of views really mean, is that the platform has decided that you are profitable to them. And that's all a view is. If it's pushing you, it's because they have worked out that you are making them money.
True.
It doesn't mean anything else. It just means that they have decided that Google have decided that they will make more money by pushing your video than by pushing someone else's. And that is not really a brag to say like, I am a more valuable worm under Google's foot than someone else's. Is not really worth boasting about. So it's kind of funny how people do get really obsessive over their views and sub counts. And I get it as well, because it's fun to like, try and get more views. It's like something to aim for, but actually I don't think it's a very good judge of who you are. And you only need to look at all the YouTubers who get involved in like horrific scandals. There's there's endless, aren't there? Right. So then it's clearly not a measure of the quality of person. Mr. Beast is not the greatest man who ever lived. You know what I mean? He's not better than any random nurse saving children's lives. You know what I mean? It's like it's a ridiculous comparison so, but it's kind of nice to have a YouTube channel where it isn't entirely based on the views, and where YouTube isn't your primary source of income. It's just something you do to provide value to your community. I think that's actually really powerful.
Well, I don't even know what my view. That's how little I care about views, is that I actually don't even look. I gave up a long time. Actually, well, I semi-quit social media last year. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That was a smart decision.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't take it anymore. As I said,
quit, I still do, and some of those other ones. They were just
do any of those.
toxic as heck.
I still do Instagram. Instagram's pretty good. Instagram is the one that does still give me, it still targets and gives me pretty much what I want to see, as opposed to things that will make me angry and so it make me rage bait. So that one I still engage with. And well, I would say YouTube, because YouTube is kind of a social platform, and that I live on, but I, again, look at the things I subscribe to mostly. So not that big a deal. But my point was, I was saying, I came in kind of the middle. I came right after COVID, right when D&D was at its hottest, when people like yourself, Will, and Shinny D, and like all the, Professor Dungeon Master, all the big ones were like really getting big and hitting 100,000, subscribers, and D&D was like at its total hotness. And that's when I came in. And so I'm not exactly even sure of how or why you started this channel and what your goals were and what you're doing now. If you could just let us know. I'm actually just curious for myself. Yeah,
totally. I don't think as many people realize this as you might think, but like I didn't start YouTube on D&D shorts. I was doing my master's degree in music performance, and I just wound up with a kind of side hustle job for one of the biggest UK based YouTube channels at the time. It was a different era, but they were called What Culture. and they had
I
a
love
bunch
What
of
Culture.
different channels.
I watch
Oh,
them
you
all
know
the
it.
time.
Yeah. If you're familiar with wrestling, certainly that's their biggest one, What Culture Wrestling.
Oh,
Well, if
okay.
you know What Culture, then yeah, they're certainly a long way past their heyday. But
Yeah.
I was with them at the tail end of their heyday, and we were dropping videos that made the millions and millions of views every week. Like they would just drop. It was that top 10 era of YouTube. This was before COVID. It was like you top 10 this, top 10 that. But BuzzFeedy YouTube. Very Watch Mojo style. So it was a very fun job because I wasn't in the office. I don't think it was very fun for people in the office, but being basically a freelancer, getting to make videos was great. So I was familiar with the process of doing YouTube, and I kind of just realized when the shorts feed came out, it was an opportunity to try doing something for myself because it's an investment of like 20 minutes to make a video on the shorts feed. So, and it was brand new. None of us really understood what the shorts feed even was, apart from the fact that it was YouTube trying to copy TikTok. That's okay. It's TikTok, sure. Which I didn't use either. So I was like, yeah, we'll give it a try. And I would have made videos about anything. I just needed to think of something that I wanted to explore. And at the time, it was COVID. And I was just playing D&D a lot with friends. And I was like, oh, this seems like it's something that I could make videos for my friends. Literally, I'll make a video and record it and send it to them, and they'll think it's funny, hopefully. And they just kind of exploded. So and in a way, it's a shame because, or it's not a shame, but it's odd that videos that were meant to be seen by 4 people have been seen by sort of 4 million. So those very early videos are a lot scrappier. They're a lot more vibes. They're not really worrying about like very intense mechanical stuff. That's something that people started asking for, so I kind of leaned into it. But those early videos are really just like, this is kind of funny, isn't it? Not really meant to be used in a game or anything like that. And then it kind of just popped off from there. And then
the smartest thing ever is that you named your channel D&D Shorts, because now you're stuck forever.
Yeah. I was talking to this on another like interview I did the other day. I really don't like the name. Actually, is that fair? I don't mind the name, like in terms of how it rolls off the tongue. I don't hate that, but I don't like that. I make more long form than short form content now, and I talk about games other than D&D quite a lot. So it's really wrong on both counts. Like, so I kind of locked in with the branding now. Now that like I've done Kickstarters under that name, you're really locked in at that point. Like you can't rebrand from there. Really, it would be really difficult. So. I guess I'm just rolling with it. But and that's kind of, we ended up here. And that's how it goes. So that's how I started anyway. I just kind of fell into it trying to do something for myself on the side of my job. And then it blew up. So I just, stopped making videos for other people. And started making videos for myself, which was nice. It's nice if you can, because those very big companies, they don't really do anything. I don't know how experienced you guys are like with those kind of big media companies, but basically they take the lion's share and do nothing. They really do nothing. And we're talking like they make millions a year. So it's like it's very exploitative. And you can see that if you work there. I don't think they were like horrible people. They weren't like, as far as I know, abusing anyone or like directly or anything like that. Like, but in terms of like, it's pretty much theft as far as I could, like, looking back on it now. It's like they really did nothing and took millions of dollars. They would pay someone like £100 to make a video, and then that video would make 10,000. And that was just all they did. And then those videos would promote other videos on the channel, and it would just that's. So I'm kind of glad to have gotten out, really, especially as What Culture have. I think that the people there probably still like the job a lot, and I wish the best for them, but those big media companies are really kind of sus.
I watch Jess from whatculture.com. She does all the YouTube. She does a lot of the video game videos.
I wonder if I met Jess. Must have come in after. I'm wondering if she was there briefly when I was there.
I watch What Culture does. I watch all the video game. I actually really like their video game videos. And
yeah,
Jess
What Culture
really
gaming. Yeah, well, there's a good chance you might not have realized it at the time, but if you watch What Culture Gaming back in the day, you will have seen me around.
I think the funny thing is you mentioned it now. I'm like, I bet you I did. because I am a
yeah.
huge
No, yeah,
video
I did
gamer.
loads on those.
Really? Let's talk. Let's
Yeah.
screw this. Let's talk video games, man.
Close to 500 million views on What Culture before I did anything else. Like a huge. I did mostly the film, the main one, What Culture and What Culture Comics, but like I did a lot on gaming.
But you
too.
can talk film. I can talk film. That's my other.
Yeah.
Anytime, any day, any day.
Yeah.
It
was a fun, like I say, it's a fun job when you're out of the office, but it had that fun tax, I suppose you could say. Like working a lot of game companies do. They have like a because everyone wants the job. It pays very badly, you know.
Right.
Well, I know that's the problem with any of these jobs people like. It's like, well, the more people want to do it, the worse it pays. So
yeah,
simple as that. So,
but
are you still enjoying it now? Because like it's weird. Because D&D, man, for a while there, it was really fun. I don't know. I felt like it was a lot of fun because it was like getting so popular and everyone was playing it and they're putting out really good material. And we'll forget about the whole old jail thing. But then it was fun when we were like ready for 2024. I was looking forward to it. And it was fun to, everyone anticipates it. It was a long couple of years of anticipation and previews and getting the books out over a period of 9 months. And now what? it's sort of like, okay, now what? It sort of happened and we're just kind of here and no one knows what to do with themselves anymore. It's kind of in a weird spot right now.
I do kind of know what you mean. I mean, I haven't been too secretive about it that I do love making videos. And I do still really enjoy it. And there's some videos that I'm working on now that I'm really excited for, which are kind of in the animation space, but still D&D related. But yeah, I've been very open about it. Like I would not be here still if it wasn't for the charity stuff. I would, that is the reason I keep going. I really love the friends I have in the industry. And we'll talk about Power Word Meal later, but like getting to see that side of you, apart from anything else, Stephen, among other people, see that level of kindness and goodness at the heart of the community is so inspiring. But it's the charity stuff that keeps me. I am not invested in D&D enough to make like a video about it every week. If it just for money, like it's not, do you know what I mean? It's like that's not a good enough reason for me to keep going anymore. Which is a privileged position to be in. I get that. Like, don't get me wrong. So really, it's more like I enjoy the job a lot, and it's as far as I can work out, it's the best way for me to do something that I care about, which is charity work. So I keep going for that reason, and it's a great life. But yeah, I definitely know what you mean. Like my love for I still love designing for the game a lot. I'm looking forward to making more books, but my love for just like I never just scroll Reddit on D&D anymore. I never scroll the D&D Reddit. I don't watch as much D&D YouTube as I should. Like even from creators who I really love and I enjoy watching, I miss a lot of their stuff. There's some creators where I still catch everything. I really like Willow Wares right now. I really like Corkboards and Curiosities. Val does some great stuff.
Val's the best. I'm gonna get her back. Val and I talk a lot, and the problem is she was moving, and now she's finally settled. She's gonna get on our. She's gonna be on my show. She's on our show a lot. She actually co-wrote one of our.
She wrote the first chapter for Last She Dragons, and she did a really good job on that.
Yeah, I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm not surprised. She definitely has so much like aura. I bet she's a great writer. I haven't read her stuff, but I bet she's a great writer. Like how she constructs her videos and of
our authors who we brought in to write things, you would not be surprised based on her corkboard's style of connections that she asked the most questions about things from our world lore and how they were connected to each other so that she could write her section. She was like, well, I saw this in this one place and this in this other place. Is there any connection between those two things? And there was, but it wasn't explicitly stated. And so then I was able to answer those. And then she wrote in, which was great because she was writing on behalf of our Green Dragon scholar narrator, who is also trying to like analyze things. So it really fit in well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what I just pulled up. This is the book she.
Oh, you pull it up?
She added to.
It's that I on that point, Mark. I can't. I am so smitten when someone asks me, or when someone gets something from a book that I've written that isn't explicitly stated. That is like the biggest compliment when I'm like, oh, you didn't read the book, you understood the book. I love that. That's my favorite thing in the world, that kind of interaction. So yeah. But the truth, no, you're right. I don't consume D&D content even as quarter as much as I should as a D&D creator. Like, in a way, I should be voraciously grabbing everything that comes out. I should be watching it. So to keep on top of things, to see what other people are doing, and I don't do that anymore. And that's got to be a sign of something, right? Like, like clearly like I say, I'm still very interested in designing for the game, and I love that. But in terms of consuming the game, yeah, I agree. I think for me, it's definitely dipped a little bit, and I would, I would just retire had it not been for charity, being a more meaningful existence to me than whatever people do when they don't do anything. I don't know. Like, it's like, what the hell do you do once you're here as well? Like, it's a nice place to be. Why leave? But maybe you can tell them. Maybe people can tell on my videos that it's less hungry than it used to be.
Maybe it's just that your relationship with the game and the space is evolving, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a sign of like burnout or anything like that. It can just be that you're changing, and so naturally your relationship is changing.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like as well. Like, I mean, you're a game designer. Would you say first and then a content creator second? If you were...
by a mile, I would say.
I'd say content
based
creator.
On the popularity of my content creator channel versus the popularity of the games I've designed. Yes,
a content creator 10th.
I would be like in deep trouble if the like $200 I reported from content creation on my last tax return, or however much it was where most of my money was coming from.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so it might be that I'm kind of moving more into that sort of maybe like, maybe not in a financial sense, but like in a kind of spiritual sense or a creative sense. That might be where I'm ending up going, is when my heart is more in the content creation rather. I did in content creation, making a book, or making, things like that, rather than just video every week, 3 shorts a week kind of thing.
Just figure out what you like doing. Because like, it's funny, when we came into the content creation, I knew right away we were never going to do things like, oh, here's 5 builds for your warlock. Like, one, there was tons of people doing that, and 2, I couldn't care less about that stuff, like I just couldn't. So I
actually like that kind of stuff in theory, but I made a lot of that kind of content not on videos, but actually in written form. And it was actually kind of popular. Some people, even when I was a game designer, had heard of my build guides and not my game design work for a while. But what I came to realize when I tried to create philosophical build guides that would allow you to, like you said before, Will, to understand what you're building rather than to be explicitly told what to do. And people would be like, yeah, but you didn't give me exactly which feats to take in which order here. You just said which ones were good and tried to explain how they would combine. Give me a list. And I was like, but if I give you a list, then you're just going to look at that and it'll just kind of be arbitrarily chosen because there's so many different synergies you can see if you read all the things I put there. They're like, just give me a list. And eventually I did. And then later someone was like, this list doesn't include this other thing, which I think is good. And your guide even said was good. And I was like, okay. And I realized that like by being too explicit about these guides and especially too authoritative sounding, if you are, it actually can like limit people's diversity of thought. And it made me a little sad. So I still love them in some way, but only with like a lot of caveats on like, this is just for fun. This is one thing. And there's some channels that do that where they're like, this isn't the best thing. I just wanted to do something cool that involved like a octopus theme. And so I came up with a pretty optimized thing, given that it had to be an octopus.
Yeah. No, you're completely right. And and part of that's just the internet as well, where people will find issue with anything to some extent, right? Like there's a type of person who sees every build guide as a challenge to their knowledge of the game. And it's like, oh, you think you know more than me? You know what I mean? And then they're coming in like, which is, crazy. But there are people like that. So, but yeah, you're right. I do wonder sometimes if those really successful, like, but I did a series called like Underrated Multi-Class Build. And I think I have seen Again, I don't really go on Reddit and see what people are talking about anymore. But back in the day, I did see like the culture shift on some of them. And I think in response to my content, even though it's not, they didn't credit me, it's like, I think there are builds out there now that are floated around more that never were talked about 3 or 4 years ago in response to those, like the success of those videos. Cause they have like 1 million or more views, a piece. And it's like people talking about, there's one like a wizard, like a barbarian dip for a Bladesinger wizard. It's very silly, but it does kind of work, and and a barbarian warlock as well. And I think in D&D this is, I like to see those. When I see one of those in the wild, I'm like, that's from me. I'm pretty sure. Like I never saw that anywhere before I talked about it, and it is nice to. So you can lock people in, but hopefully you can also bring in some crazy ideas that might impact the community and give someone something that they'd never think about doing before.
Yeah. So someday I actually really want to do a video. I have about 20% of a script written for it about how to think about rankings in a way that isn't always thinking about them from the perspective of, is this as strong as it can be for power in a fight? Where you're like ranking it, how well designed is this feature? And in that ranking, I would have 4 or 5 different components about like how flavorful or fun does it feel, and then it would have a power component. But if the power level is too high, it gets a lower number of points because
so it's the balance. It's more about balance than just
it's about how well it's designed. Because I rank the power level from like F up to S. And B, where it's like, this is so good that it's always going to help you, but it doesn't really crowd out any other options. You don't have to take it, but you'll never be unhappy taking it, would be like the best case scenario. And then like C, where it's like, it's good in some times, but not others. Or A, where it's like, this is so good, it crowds out other options, but it doesn't hurt the game. They're like the second best.
Yeah.
And then the worst is S, where it's like, this actually physically harms the game in some way or makes other things not work or break the game because this exists. And it's so powerful that it's definitely mandatory in a harmful way. From game design perspective, that's the worst thing you can do. It's actually worse than F. Because F, where it's just like, this is worthless, no one will ever take it. Yeah, you wasted space in your book, but you didn't hurt anybody's game because nobody...
No, they just ignore it. Yeah.
They ignored it. Whereas if there's an S, then you have not only harmed like one, or maybe one person took the F by accident because they were a newbie, but you have harmed probably like 70% of all games because it's going to be so blatantly broken that like it's going to become probably a meta build, and like almost everybody's going to be taking it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool.
I want to do a video about that sometime, but I'll have to finish that script, and it's been sitting
then you got to lock in,
for like 6 months.
So tell us about your love of these charities and this Power Word meal that you're doing.
It's kind of like, I guess there's 2 different parts, isn't there? There's like the charity work directly on the channel, which is, so I give away half of all the money the YouTube channel makes, with the exception of direct patronage from people. So if you're a YouTube member, that money doesn't get cut in half. That just goes to the channel to help support the editors and the graphic designers and me. And that comes from, I think that is the rational response to the way my channel went. So people give me raised eyebrows when I say that sometimes, but what I realized was over the course of maybe 2 years ago, my salary was going up every month. Honestly, month on month on month. But my happiness level was staying the same. Because I was already happy. I already had a job that I loved, and I have enough money. And if I had, you could give me £10 billion tomorrow, and nothing in my life would actually significantly change. I don't have a car, and I'm not a car guy. I wouldn't buy like a crazy car. I think that's a ridiculous use of money for some reason that men do that, but they do. I don't drink, really, which is, and I like this house. I wouldn't move. I'm right down the street from my family, who I love, and I like to see them. And I've got she's my sister's dog, but she's my dog, and she's just down the road. I'm not going to move away. So what I found is like, if you're getting more money than you honestly need, and you're already happy why keep it? I really thought about it. I thought about it really hard because I didn't want to give away a load of money. You know, like I don't think many people want to have less, but to me, it was just a matter of like practically, I couldn't see a rational case to say I should have more money in my bank account than I need, while people are going hungry or while people are going without. You know, that to me didn't make sense. So, people ask me about the charity stuff sometimes, and they give me credit where I don't think credit is due because they look at it like I'm making a sacrifice, and they're like, wow, this is amazing, blah 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 blah. Which but I don't think I am making a sacrifice. I don't think my quality of life hasn't changed. I haven't lost anything at all. At all, nothing has changed. So it was very easy. And I think if you can give away that money and not even notice, then that's the amount that you should give away. And then if I gave away any more right now, I would start to notice. I would have to start like, the future would get a bit less, it'd get a bit more sketchy. You never know what's around the corner. I don't want to be in a situation where if the roof falls in, I'm screwed, so I do need to have something held back. But and then if my salary continues to go up, which, who knows, it might do, it might not, it depends on how the channel goes, but I'll get to a point where I can give 100% of the channel earnings away. And then if I have kids one day, I'll probably have to take some of it back. Hopefully people will understand at the time. But that's essentially why the D&D Shorts does the charity stuff, is because it's I couldn't think of a reason why not to. And I really did think about it. I tried to find one, but I couldn't find a reasonable reason to do so for me. And I know other people have other perspectives. I know there's other channels who make way more than me, and they don't. But we don't know what they do privately, and maybe they feel differently about their future, or they live in a less certain country. So yeah, that's kind of where the charity stuff comes from on my channel. But Powered Meal was not really about my channel. That was a whole community thing. So let me pull it up. Let's see how much we made, because it's basically finished now. So to anyone watching who didn't know what it was, essentially it was the UN got in contact with me. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say you can still contribute to it, I believe.
Yeah, you can still donate. Yeah. So like for a while when you donated, you could also enter into a giveaway to receive bonus things, including like 4 different Battlezoo Bestiary books, among other things. And that's now closed. But when you donate still, you will get a free PDF with a bunch of awesome content from Pathfinder and D&D and a bunch of JPEG maps. So it's still worth donating. And yeah, we fed about, I'm going to gush about you for a second, Steven. Sorry. I'm not going to go on this stream and not talk about this. I know it's embarrassing to hear someone say. But we've fed about, we've fed about 460,000 people, and we've got about another 20,000 people getting fed when all the other sponsors have come in. But I should say that when we hopped on a call to talk about this, to put some Battlezoo stuff or some Roll for Combat stuff in the giveaway package, I'm talking to the audience here now. When I hopped on that with Steven, at the end of the call, Steven just donated 3,000 meals personally. He just put 3,000 meals into. Well, he just saved 3,000 lives at the end of a couple of hours. Like, I mean, how long were we on the call for? An hour? And we were just talking about what we were doing and why it mattered. And then it was just like, bam, we're going to put Roll for Combat right here at the heart of Powered Meal and just save 3,000 people just like that, which was incredible. I really got the ball rolling. Honestly, that was like the first, like, wow, 3,000 people fed. And now it's snowballed. It's people like that who are carrying the entire thing, like, and it inspires more people to give. Of course, people give within their means. You can't pour from an empty cup. I don't think there are a lot of people who gave one meal because they don't have very much, but they still chose to save someone else. I think that's, in a way, like, that's an incredible thing. It's not about who gave the most. It's kind of about, did you give as much as you could? And even if that's one meal, that's still incredible. But yeah, Powered Meal, we all kind of came together on it. I was amazed by it. I was hoping for maybe 30,000 meals raised, maybe 50,000 once a couple of sponsors had come through. And yeah, 460,000, probably 480,000 when we're done is mind-blowing, isn't it? And nearly 13,000 supporters. So if it was a Kickstarter, it would be one of the biggest Kickstarters ever at 13,000 supporters. I think it's the biggest single charity event in the TTRPG space ever. A couple of people on my Discord were trying to work it out, and we found a Critical Role Tiltify that had done about $370,000 raised. And this is a little more than that in terms of dollar amount raised. So this might be the biggest thing ever done, which is just mind-blowing. And it's entirely thanks to people like, well, Roll for Combat and Paizo helped out, and everyone who just shouted it out. I mean, you guys put it in your newsletter.
Yeah,
so,
I did it this week too.
I mean, I could just gush on for all day. I mean, it's been the only thing I've thought about for about 3 months. So, having it be done is also a huge relief. But yeah, it was an incredible thing to work together on. I mean, how did you find it? I suppose, you guys, kind of a bit more from as it went off. I mean, were you surprised by it? Like, when we were talking about it, did you have in the back of your mind, were you like, oh, this could maybe do a little thing, and then...
I wasn't that surprised, to be honest, only because I actually do a fair amount of charity stuff in lots of ways, in lots of different places, not just this. So you'd be surprised. I mean, I guess you were, but you do it long enough, and it's amazing. It's depends on what it's for and how it's presented, unfortunately. But, for something like this, you can do so little to, give a meal. Like, you can literally just donate $10 for that's
like 15.
Yeah, like 15 meals. Right.
Yeah,
and everyone also can relate to that. Is like, what it is, what meal is, what eating is. So it's easy to relate to. It's easy to donate to. That's a big part of these charities. So I mean, I thought it would probably top off maybe when I went to 200, 250. I wasn't too surprised. But then when I went today to put in the newsletter, I saw it was to 460. I was like, okay, now I'm surprised. Like, I didn't expect it to go that high. That was a lot.
You're right, though. I didn't think about that, but maybe part of the power of that charity specifically, Share the Meal, which is the World Food Program. It's just it is the World Food. Share the Meal is. I think it is technically the name of the charity, but it's just their advertising arm. I mean, it's the World Food Program, UN, really. And maybe that's part of their success, actually, as a charity, is that it is so... Everyone understands what it is to eat, in a way that maybe if it was a charity for... even like a mental health support charity, it gets more nebulous immediately. It's like, okay, what are you actually doing with this money?
Exactly.
It's harder to conceptualize.
Yes.
Or if it's like a medical debt charity, I suppose that's something you can understand. But yeah, interesting. It's a really good point that I hadn't considered, but actually, I bet that's a big part of it, is that people get it. You don't need to explain it to...
It's easy to understand. It's super transparent, where the money tells you how many meals it's going to be. And so I think that gives like a connection and a trust to it that might be harder to find from something that's a little more nebulous and you don't know where it's going to go. Now, we had a few super chats that I'll read through real quick. Mark T said, thank you, Will, for being a good person. Stephen and Mark, too. I appreciate you all. Knights of Last Call said, wow, I go to the doctors and you're all out the big guns.
You're all pulling out the big guns, yeah.
It said, oh,
you roll out. He meant to say you roll out.
I'm going to need a
nice
lot
last call, of course. Yeah,
I'm going to need a lot of help for the last one that Cadgar 4606 said, because I'm not sure. It said, and you, I think, are doing very good at something D&D shorts. It's I am Priao there.
I didn't see anything.
I don't know.
I didn't see that one yet.
It was a super chat, and then they didn't put the text into it, and then just below they put the text, because sometimes happens where they hit enter first.
Okay.
I'm actually not sure what it says, but I wanted to. Maybe you're doing good at improving.
Probably.
Not sure.
Thank you. So here's where our area of expertise is, and my area of expertise is marketing, finance, all the big boy stuff. That's a big part of it. So when it comes to charities and it comes to givings, it's really based on connection, and it's based on connections. It's based on relativity, something you can relate to. It's based on that.
Relatability, maybe?
Relatability, that's the word I'm looking for. It's
a special theory of relativity.
A special theory, go. But it does, because, even myself, it's like, so when you have nebulous charities, some people just like, well, what am I giving for? And the ones that are nebulous, that's why they do gifts, because then they give specific tiers, because then they give you a reward for certain things. But for this, anything to do with food. Mark knows this because I've talked to him about this. Food is something everyone on planet Earth can relate to. Therefore, it's an easy one. If you were doing something I've done things with pets for like dogs who come in and, emotional dogs, and those do pretty well, but they probably wouldn't do as well as this. And then if you did something real specific, those are the toughest ones, because then those are the ones where they have to explain, okay, we're doing this for this type of charity for these type of people. And those are the ones that are the hardest.
And you've got to then, because you have to spend more time. People like time is the resource, really. You've got people's attention for so little time these days. You to have to then explain what it is. Yeah.
Time and attention and their cognitive process to understand you. Even if they have the time, they just might not have the spoons or the mental process to try to process through all of it and realize and make sure they know that they want to do it. Whereas if it's simple and easy to understand, then it's easy to join it.
Yeah, and I did stuff with my kids where we did bag lunches a couple of times where we would show up at a temple and then they bring all the food and then we sit there and then you have to put the food in the bags. And when you do stuff like that, if you really want to get down and dirty, do the actual volunteer work, and then it's like donating the money is definitely good and definitely helps. But if you want to really see the connection, like do the bagging of the foods or the handing it out, because we've done stuff like that with my family. And it's actually what my wife does is it's called Lasagnas for Love, and it blew up over COVID, where they would get people to bake a lasagna and bring it to someone's house, and that's it. There's nothing more to it. And lasagna can last for a long time. It's big, it's heavy, it's a lot of food, and it exploded. It became a huge nationwide thing. So my wife does that like every week or two, where she will make a lasagna, and then she'll also throw in lasagnas, and she'll throw in salad, and she'll throw in some cookies, and basically people could apply for them, and then we drive it to either a shelter or an area, or to most times to the person's house, and they just meet us. And there's no questions. It's not really like, well, why do you need it? It's just like, they need it, and that's it. So we just do that.
Yeah. That's wonderful, man. That's so cool. It's crazy. It's crazy how the world is structured in a way that, like, little things like that, like what I can't think of a more meaningful use of a human being's time, really, than to feed another human who can't feed, who doesn't have food. But it does feel like it does sort of feel like the way sort of big companies work, it's kind of the opposite of that. I hope we don't, for want of a better word, how do you put it? I wish we celebrated things like that a bit more, and just arbitrary financial success a little less. You know what I mean? I think maybe if as a society we celebrated that, fewer people would chase the dollar that they don't need.
If they gamify, you see, that's another secret. If you gamify it kind of the way you did, which isn't a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with gamification. It's like if you gamify it, where you turn it into, yes, you could donate, and yes, we're going to give out some prizes, but it's simple, it's easy, and then people feel better about it, as opposed to, you need that. People, I believe, need rewards of some sort, and some people can be rewarded just by doing good deeds, and some people need, whether it's a possibility of getting some prizes, which is totally fine. That's PBS runs on that. Or you can do it just because, it's like, or you get a pin, or you get a T-shirt, or you get something to show that you're a good person. My grandfather donated all the time. And he used to get these stickers, and this is back like in the 70s and 80s, and he would put them on his front door. I don't think he was doing it to show off. I think he just liked to do it. And we would go to his house, and he just had all these stickers of all the charities he would donate to. So, but everyone does it for different reasons. But if you can somehow give people, I hate to say it, but that's just human nature, a a reward of some sort to do it, even if it's minor, it helps. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. As I said, I mean, like, we donated books. All the things you're giving out for free, those were all donated by people like myself and Paizo and so forth. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean,
right.
we made the adventure, but yeah, like, exactly. Yeah. The Chepeku as well. Yeah. There's that free element I think is useful too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's people like you who make it possible, like both of you who make it possible. But then it's also all the other, everyone else, even people who just pop down one community post on, like it's that, like, just that reach is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like there are people like, I mean, how much is a community post from someone like Pointy Hat worth? Like if you tried to sponsor one to talk about like your next Kickstarter,
I can tell you what it's worth because I know its rates.
yeah. It's a lot. Yeah. It's not cheap.
Not cheap.
These people are not cheap, and
He's
they're doing it
cheap.
for free. Like in a way, you're getting many thousands of dollars worth of value for free because they believe in it. So. Yeah, I mean running the entire Power Word meal, like from getting the art, like Sinlair gave half rate on the art, the dragon, just because I think that was just $500. Now I think that piece, if it was just for a random Kickstarter, I think Sinlair would charge at least 1,000, if not 2,000. It's a stunning piece. The entire event probably only cost me so far like $5,000, and maybe another 3,000 once I've shipped everything out. Like getting the return. If you could go onto like Wall Street and turn 8,000 into, 400,000 in a week, you'd be a god. You know what I mean? Like, so it did go a long way. But again, it's only really thanks to people helping, like, at every tier of, from the people donating their time.
It sounds like there were tens of thousands of dollars of added value that was donated, whether it was from literal physical product like books or from what it would have cost to get the advertisement for community posts and other things like that.
100%. Oh yeah, like if you count in that, like how much it would have cost to advertise as much as we got, $100,000, probably more. Honestly, maybe more. Like unbelievable amount of value there. And then just in terms of the literal stuff, including the Battlezoo books, there's loads of stuff. You can see the video, right? We're talking like $20,000 worth of things. There's a lot of digital stuff as well, which adds up quite quickly. Again, that's why we're called, like, why the D&D community is truly special. It is the whole TTRPG community, of course. It's not just D&D, but like it is truly special. It was consider. I think I asked like 150 people or close to that, and I think there's only two companies that said no, which is an unbelievable hit rate when you think about that's wild, especially considering I'm not like the most. I'm not Matt Mercer, what I mean? It's like I'm just a guy, really. Like it's there's I can understand why some companies wouldn't want to work with me on something, that, like, I have that history with some people. So it is a special community. I really think it is. Like, I don't think, we were talking before the stream started, but I don't think this is something that really happens in other communities very much. I don't know if this kind of thing happens in Magic the Gathering. Maybe it does, or if it happens in Warhammer. It feels like a D&D thing. So the amount of like community outreach stuff that happens feels very D&D or like TTRPG centric.
I think it's the ones that I think. I mean, D&D, I think in TTRPGs and video games quite a bit, because I do like games done quick, which raises millions for their. I look forward to it every year. Is games done quick, and watching that is truly inspirational because they do it for a week, 24 hours a day for 7 days, and everyone's donating and they give out prizes too. But when you hear, like, they always read out the donations, and it's really amazing. Is just by the fact that the process of our game, of our hobby, is playing with other people and community focused and like being with other people and friends. I think that's a big part of it. I think this, and video games, because video games, especially more, not that I don't play video games with other people, but I'm in the minority by far. The most popular video games are actually community-based video games, believe it or not, by a mile. So, I think anything that is based off community in the hobby itself would probably do very well. And I think
especially
Warhammer
just
would do
because
well.
tabletop RPGs are not just a game with a community, because some of those are competitive and free for all, but it's a game where you are shown in the game that if there's some kind of impossible, unachievable goal or danger or some kind of thing that you're trying to accomplish, instead of just being like, well, I guess we can't, right? I guess it's too much. You work together with your team, everyone comes together and you overcome it. And that's just what tabletop RPGs, I mean, not all of them. Obviously, there's a lot of tabletop RPGs. Maybe some of them are, and definitely some of them are bleak apocalypses where you can't succeed. But in like I guess the traditional fantasy D&D Pathfinder style game, that's what you're doing. And so it's only, I think, natural that those kinds of things are going to translate to this. Now, we got a couple more super chats. Lot Unfinished Projects said, I run an unhoused outreach and indie direct help like what you guys are doing. It's awesome. And Agile Monk said, as human beings, I believe we are called to help others. It is part of our truer nature. And those that do it and give freely without expectations of something back are the best. Thank you, Will and Steven. Love y'all, Will.
Well, I did.
Yeah, thanks so much.
I did have a caveat. I did say Will would have to come on the show. It's not like it got.
Well, I'm happy
back.
to be here. Like, yeah, I am happy to be here. I would have done that either way.
I know.
Absolutely.
That was a
but
joke.
like, yeah. I mean, you help each. I mean, it goes that way too. We do help each other out a lot in this space. I can't remember who I was talking to about that recently, but it was kind of a difference between YouTubers and the kind of LA Hollywood kind of type of thing where it feels like YouTube. Was it us together?
No, it was not me. It was not me because that would have been. I would have been very. I would have been a lot to talk about on that subject.
Yeah. It feels like a lot of it feels like YouTubers are always kind of helping each other build up, and there isn't really that competitive element on YouTube because if someone else's video does well on D&D, that's good for every other D&D YouTuber because it'll pull more people in. So that's amazing. And of course, you're always you are fans of each other's work because if you're in this space, you presumably enjoy the game, so you're watching other people's content. So it's nice to work together. As like from the interactions that this person, I remember who it was now, had in LA, it was very, very different. Where like a lot of actors were maybe friendly to a degree, but it was sort of that kind of more. Everyone's a bit. The competition is so high that it drives a lot of animosity. It drives a lot of fear and a lot of weird behavior. And it's like they were like, "Oh, it's so much better to be a YouTuber than an actor." Like beyond, like where everyone actually cares about each other, and it's not like you're constantly looking for your next meal ticket upwards. It's you're actually building each other up from the bottom. You're not trying to stamp on everyone else on. You're not pushing everyone else down so you can kind of crawl up. I do love that about YouTube. So maybe it's a YouTube specific thing as well, like how maybe if this had happened with a bunch of actors, I mean, if they were famous actors, they'd have made loads of money, but you know what I mean? Like it might be just that our community as content creators is very naturally geared towards lifting each other.
To the rising tide that lifts all ships.
Yeah. And it just naturally flows into, if someone does a charity thing, it's like, of course I'll help, and then maybe that was it.
148 out of 150 is just very impressive. It's could be hard to fathom for fans of first generation Pokemon. That would be like if Will went up to the entire cast of Pokemon and then Pikachu and Raichu just said screw you and left, and all the other Pokemon joined in on the charity.
So
yeah, it is. You're right. Actually, yeah, it's wild. But yeah, it was lovely to and also like to make it's another way. It's just any project that you get to work with other people on is fun because we get to hang out now. I mean, like I would have come on anyway, but it's nice to have that reason to actually get together because I think we've caught up. Did we meet at Gen Con? I think briefly.
We did. Yeah, you came to the booth. We always had like extra space for people to come and hang out at the booth, and you hung out with us for a while at Gen Con.
Yeah. So it's like it's the whole Gen Con's a blur, and I've met Steven a couple of times, but again, only for like minutes normally. So it's nice to actually when you have a project that you can be like, let's do this, and then so you actually get to have this moment afterwards, or you get to hang out. And I had that with a lot of people who I didn't know maybe too well, who I now know a little bit better. And it's like next time we catch up at a convention, we've got something to talk about before we kind of veer into whatever's going on.
Are you going unplugged? Are you going to PAX Unplugged or?
Yeah, I'll be there at PAX. Yeah, I just got my hotel actually. I need to get my flights still.
All right, we'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be my first ever time at PAX. I've never been to America outside of Indianapolis either. This is my first time going to anywhere in America that isn't Indianapolis.
I guess you're hanging out with us because I run a big posse when we go to PAX Unplugged. It's usually
is that your whole gang, the whole crew comes through?
Yeah. Well, me and Professor, we're from the area, so we know everything in that area.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm from New York, but I know Philly really well, so we know all the places to go. So
I'm from the area, but I don't know it that well.
Yeah, you're from the area, but you don't know Philly.
Every single person in my nuclear family except me went to the University of Pennsylvania and really, really knows Philly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Both my parents and both of my brothers went to UPenn. I went to MIT. I'm the black sheep of the family.
Okay. Well, if you could have shown us around Boston when we went to PAX East, but
yeah, I mean, I went to places that I knew about around Boston when I was going to, like, with a friend. We went to the North End and got some Italian and stuff. But you were so much going on when we were in Boston. There was never
Boston's
any time
hard to get
do
around.
it.
It's also hard to get around. Well, what we're doing, everything is walking distance, so it's easy. But it's me.
That's good.
It's basically me, Professor, Baron, if he shows up. I don't know if he's coming this year. It'll be Derek. It'll be Mark. It'll be Bob, and I'm trying to who else.
Bob's going. Nice.
Yeah, Bob. He lives right there. Bob will be there. Grace World Destroyer will be there. That's our posse. That's like the core posse that we usually.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a crew. Yeah.
That's our core crew. If
nice
other
to
people come, we'll usually grab a few others like.
You sneak them up. Like
any of those will come into. So
no, it'll be fun to just be in Philadelphia. Like obviously, I've heard of the city. I know it's a big one in America.
Well, do you like to eat?
I do. Yeah, I do. So
well, then you're in luck because there's a lot of really good food, and we will take you to the best ones. I'll take you to the best places to eat.
Nice. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be I've never been to PAX Unplugged. I've never been to an American con outside of Gen Con, so I'm very interested to see how it's different.
Very different.
Okay, cool. I'm interested then. Yeah.
Very well. You see, so cities in America, there's 3 types of cities. Now we're on the tangent. So the 3 types of cities in America, you have the old colonial cities, and those are the Bostons, definitely the Phillies. New York City's its own. We won't get into that. That's like its own thing. So you have like, Washington, D.C. So those are like the colonial type cities. And they're very tight. They're very, they're seeped in history. There's like Washington ate here and Ben Franklin ate here. It's like every 5 steps you go, there's something like that. Then there is what, so Indianapolis is what you would call a steel city. So any city in the Midwest is like that. Like if you go to Indy is pretty much laid out the same way as Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, like all those cities, because they're all based around steel and like industrials. So they all have the same layout. It's kind of amazing. Like they all look identical. It's just like
those really, really broad streets, grid.
It's broad streets, grids, always near a railroad, always near a river, always near major transportation. There's always a major arena. There's always like a minor league baseball team right across the street. Like it's the same in every single one. Like every single one. It's like here's the hotels, here's the eating, the shopping, the convention center, the rail center, the minor league stadium. It's exactly the same. It's really weird after you go to enough of those. And then you have like the Western, like the LA cities. And those are like the cities that they were only really built like in the 50s. And they're the young cities, but they're like huge broad streets. Everything's brand new. Everything is like spread out like miles, like Las Vegas, each city block is half a mile long. Like, that's one city block.
Oh, okay.
So it's 2 blocks away. It's like, oh, how far is that? It goes, that's a mile. That's 2 blocks. I was like, that's far. So you will now go to, so Indy is okay, but now you're going to go to my favorite types of city. I'd say the colonial cities, like the Bostons and the
from
Phillies.
Its description, it sounds closer to the English.
I was about to say it's very similar to London. It's very similar to London.
Okay, yeah. Well, London's a really fun city, so yeah.
I mean, I've only
I'm
been
excited. Yeah,
I've only been to London. I've been to England several times, but I never went anywhere except London. So I can't say like, oh, I've been to other parts of England. So.
People in England sometimes get frustrated when people say they've been to England and they're like they've only been to London. It is people.
Oh,
it's kind of like a joke. They don't actually care, but it's like because England is really nice in its parts. But London is kind of like its own thing as well. Kind of like you say, New York is its own thing. London is really its own vibe. It's very different. Like where I live now to London it's night and day. You know, it's like a lot of England is really charming sort of villages and towns and stuff. Yeah.
You should go back to England, Stephen. See places other than London. There's a lot of stuff there.
You know, you're right. But keep in mind, we usually I went with kids and we did the tourist stuff and we'd go to the West End and, you know, like they want to see the fun
I mean,
thing,
that is fun, isn't it? I do enjoy London. I would visit London for fun now, you know, like, and I've been there so many times and I still would. So I wouldn't live there, but yeah, I would. It's a great place to visit.
Now people are like, it's like the mountain cities. Okay, Denver is very different. Boise is very different. Salt Lake City is weird. It's nice.
Is that the Utah? Is that the one?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah,
that place is a weird place, man. It's not a bad place. It's very nice, but it is weird. Phoenix and Las Vegas again. But it's more like you do see a style of city after a while. And obviously San Francisco's its own thing. Like San Francisco, LA are their own thing. But the colonial cities, you're going to probably feel right at home because everything is walking distance. That's the best part. And everything is really small, really tight. Like everything is in this little area. So you'll be set. I can't believe you got a hotel room, man. I got to figure out. I couldn't even get a hotel room. And
really?
No, I thought you did, Steven.
Oh, we got it, but we're like a mile away, which isn't terrible, but I couldn't get anything close.
No, I probably shouldn't say where I got, but I got a place. I didn't. I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to never find a place. And then I just went on and it was just there. Like, boom, like very, very nearby the convention center. So maybe they hold rooms until, and then they release them later. But I was very sure
someone canceled, and then by that point in time, people had given up on getting those ones, and so you lucked out, and someone canceled.
I could have just got very lucky. Yeah, I know. Gen Con this year, I got rinsed because I booked too late. Like they definitely hold back rooms and then charge double for them. Yeah, this Gen Con was obscenely expensive for me to go.
Yeah, okay. So Agile Mom's a little offended because I said Salt City's a weird place. I'll tell you why. So Salt Lake,
said that the city's like beautiful. Arrangement was unusual but good.
No, it's a beautiful place. Right? So this is the thing: you can't drink. At least last time I was there, you can't drink in Salt Lake City. So what you do is
I don't mind that.
What they do is if you want to go to a bar or anywhere, you have to join it as a club. So because there's a loophole in the law. It's just funny because no matter what people do, they'll always find a way around it because they're like, no drinking in the city. But there is drinking if you belong to a private club. So if you go to any bar, you then have to join the quote private club of the bar, which might cost
so there's no public drinking, only private drinking.
Something like that, right? So you spend like $5 and then you become a member of that bar. And now you can go in and drink. So it's like
it's ridiculous. It's like, why have the rule at that point? You know what I mean? Or like crack down on it more. Like don't let them get away if you care that much. But
exactly. That was the thing. Fun. That's what I found.
Maybe they tried, but then they found like lawyers who were arguing how is this different than private drinking in other ways, and that's what they wound up with.
Maybe it's just
at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it was like I haven't been there in 20 years, so it's probably changed a lot. But I do remember that. Not that I'm a drinker, but I do remember like all these people. We'd walk around the city like waiting outside to go into bars. I'm like, what's going on? And then I found out that whole system, and I was like, oh, because it's like you have to become a member of the bar before you can go in. I was like, okay, that's a little out there, but come on, you're from London, man. You're from England. It's like you go to London and it's like that's the total opposite of London because there's bars everywhere.
Yeah. We have a real drinking problem in England, actually. Yeah, it's definitely like a thing.
No, I'm not kidding.
Steven, there are pubs everywhere.
I was about to say it. But it is. You think it's a joke? But you go there, they're everywhere. There's everywhere you go.
You're talking, you would walk past 4 or 5 down one street. It's like, it's unbelievable.
It's quite unbelievable. Because our hotel was like in the middle. It was like on the side street, like way off the beaten path. And there was like 3 pubs there. And I'm like, they're in the middle of nowhere. Who's coming here? And it's like, sure enough.
No, it's because, I mean, it's a thing. I mean, it's English culture is very like steeped in alcohol, funnily, and like in a way worse than any other country, I think, on earth.
Yes.
England has an awful lot of people who just drink every single day, and it's not peculiar. And they'll have like 3 or 4 beers a day, every day. And that they wouldn't be seen as alcoholics. It's just kind of like, oh, they're just one of those types, you know. So yeah, it's, you know, it's its own thing. I mean, in a way, it means you always have something to do. There's always somewhere open, which is nice. But
that's true.
It's very expensive if you want to knock them back like that. In fact, I bet it's going down now because no one has any money. But yeah, definitely back. Even when I was at university, it was like, wow, like yeah. You go to another country, which I did. For 1 year of my uni, I was in Australia, and I was like, oh, English people aren't normal. Like, this isn't normal what we do. So yeah, you learn a lot. I think your first time visiting another country, or like spending serious time out of the country, like a good year, you learn a lot about your own country and what you kind of just assume is very normal.
Yeah.
Whereas the Aussies have, like where I was in Sydney, I realized that, oh, Australians don't drink like we do, but they gamble like crazy. You know, like all my like uni friends would gamble. I was like, you guys are nuts. Like, you're throwing money away. What are you doing? It's just like go in and just drop $100 every Friday. It's like, you guys are just throwing away $100. I don't get it. But that was just fine. That was normal to them.
I gotta try that. I have not been to Australia. I one day want to, but that sounds like fun. That's right up my alley. I like to do that. So.
Yeah,
there you go.
Sydney's a fun city to visit as well. It's a bit anonymous outside of the center, but the center is stunning. The harbor, you know, it's absolutely stunning.
Honestly, if you put me between binge drinking, compulsive gambling, and mass shootings, I think I'd pick compulsive gambling.
Oh, I see.
I was suing the U.S., Steven. That's why
okay, I was like, where'd that come from?
Like, that was it was implicitly implied, but that is a thing that is a special thing that is not necessarily good. That is only for your country and not really for any other country that's out there.
You could have had something a little less. Yeah.
Do we have something that's more distinctive than that, like in terms of other big countries?
Yeah.
I guess the healthcare, you guys healthcare.
Yeah, I was about to say expensive healthcare, but that's willing to do really weird procedures on you for marginal potential benefits.
Expensive healthcare that's terrible. I don't want to get into that. That's actually my.
Yeah, it's a whole different story. Isn't it?
That's my whole. That's what that's my bread and butter is working with a pharma company. So I know this insanely well, but don't want to go down that road.
It is interesting, but I think it's healthy to live abroad if you can, just for that reason, just to pick up that perspective.
Yes.
Because like I said, I wouldn't have really thought anything of the way English people drink until I went abroad. I don't want to tar every Australian with the same brush either. It might have been just the people I knew who gambled a lot, but it was very it was very unusual. You know, I was at uni in England for sort of 6 years across my master's degree, and I think I maybe 1 or 2 people my age who would gamble, whereas in Australia it felt like everyone my age, or all the men my age would gamble. It was very like seen as like a thing guys did. So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, when I visited Australia, I didn't really see any gambling, but I was a tourist, and you were actually like interacting.
Oh yeah, I was living there in the city, with like Aussies. So yeah, yes, I don't know how big it is as like as like a touristy thing. To be fair, it's not like Vegas where people go to Sydney to gamble for sure. It's just kind of like it's just around.
So what about So what have you been doing recently? What games do you play? Like, are you in a weekly game? Do you GM? Are you a player? Like, you obviously...
I GM so often. Okay. I realized this, like, I haven't been just a player in a game in so long that when I did a live Gen Con game, this past Gen Con with Monty Martin from the Dungeon Dudes was DMing it, who's a fantastic DM. And then it was with Kelly and Deborah Ann Wall and Jasmine Bueller and Colby from D4 Deep Dive were there. So it was a fantastic group. And they were like, oh, make a character. And I had been GMing so long that I forgot that I would need a character sheet. I was like, I'm gonna be a warlock, and because I'm so used to being a GM where you just basically the way I GM is I know the game well enough that I just kind of come up with the concept of the character and then I just roll it into the game. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to need to track hit points. Otherwise, people will think I'm cheating. I'm going to need to track spell slots. Otherwise, people will think I'm cheating, which I would be effectively. Because as a GM, I don't bother with that stuff anymore. I track hit points, but I'll see how the party's doing and I'll calculate the encounter before they run it, and then they'll just go. So I was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna have to learn how to be a player again. Like in a weird way, I'm gonna have to build for myself again. But yeah, I run at least 3 games a month. But yeah, I'd never really play so much. So I loved the game that I played in though. I thought it was great fun. So maybe I should do that some more. Get that side of it in again. It's just I really enjoy DMing, and it feels like a lot of people don't for some reason, or they don't think they can do it, so they don't do it. So I figured, like, if I enjoy it, I may as well keep doing it. I mean, how often do you guys play? Like, so are you more do you reckon you played more Pathfinder? Is that what you're saying? Like you were?
I play Pathfinder. I play every week for 50 years, something like that. No, 48 years. 48 years.
Not quite, but close enough.
No, I started in 77.
Yeah.
The only time I stopped playing on a regular basis was when I was in college. Then we stopped playing. I was doing other geeky things though in college. But when I came out of college, that's when we were playing. We all lived in Manhattan, and we played more than once a week. And I still play pretty much once a week. And we play D&D. I mean, I play Pathfinder. I stream everything, so you can see all my games online because we stream. I stream every single one of them. Yeah, I do Pathfinder. Pretty much. I want to do Starfinder. I actually do want to do Starfinder 2nd edition. I'm trying to get an excuse to do that. But I am finally, for those who want to find out and see my adventure that I designed and helped write, along with Mark and Linda and several others, Jewel of the Indigo Isles, I am running my own adventure for my party. And the funny thing is, I thought about it because these guys I've been playing with for like 35 years. I was like, you know what? I think I wrote this adventure for them because I there's so much of this adventure that is things they would like.
I mean, Old Woody is definitely for them, Steven.
Yes. No, there's so much of it. Actually, the whole
that's like an in-joke from your game that we put
it in. It is. No, but actually, chapter 10 is actually just for Seth because Seth's going to lose his mind when we get to that chapter.
Really?
Good.
Yeah, there's certain chapters, but already and Chris, who's playing a dragon, dude, I gave him a hero point. He knew everything about the Luxor Turn, Mark. I was wishing you watched it. He recited back the whole Luxor Turn and how and why he became a dragon.
He seemed like he knew it from the pre-session that I was talking to him
about. Read everything. He read everything. Yeah. And they know the world. They know the balance. They know the religion. I was like, they're actually really getting into it. I was like, man, this is great. Like, they're really, awesome. Getting into the game, which is fun.
So I play and run just lots of a hodgepodge of a bunch of different stuff. Sometimes just oh, let's try this thing. And what I do have is a regular once every other week Pathfinder group that is mixed in with a variety of other games. Sometimes on Fridays, I play with my wife and my little brother and his wife. We've done a few different games with them. We're trying to mix that in because she hasn't really done much tabletop role-playing stuff before, my little brother's wife. And then I have a Saturday group that hasn't met in a while, but that we started in college and then grad school, and then we have had a hiatus. But we are also running Jewel of the Indigo Isles in that group.
Yeah, I'm actually. The other thing is that we just started. I was on Roll20. I've been on VTTs for almost 15 years now, and I've tried them all. I've tried every single one. And
yeah, you've been on Roll20. You've been on D20 Pro, and
D20
now you're on
Pro.
Now you're on Foundry?
Where not only on Foundry, but as a coder, I'm kind of going crazy. And as my friends are coders too, these guys are really they're writing the scripts, they're sitting there typing out scripts and stuff. I've never seen them this animated because they're big video game players, really big video game players. So Foundry with all the bells and whistles, and I put in all the bells and whistles. We have sound effects. We got, like all the animations and everything.
That is Foundry's thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The power.
It's like a video game, and they can't get over it. They actually were saying like this has transformed TTRPGs, D&D Pathfinder for them, because this is like they were even just talking about this on the latest stream. Like it's like we used to do this just pen and paper and theater of the mind, and this is so immersive and it's so good. Like they love it. They actually think this is like vastly better than it's the difference between when we were using Roll20, and Roll20 is fine and it was good, but it really is just an online version of your tabletop session, because I was just using maps.
It's a map and tokens. You're
exactly.
I agree. Yeah.
It's just map and
dragging
tokens.
It around. Yeah.
But this, we got the special effects, the sound effects, like the weather animations, and they're just like the doors open and they make sound. When they can peek through a hole and they literally can only see what I let them see, and they can only see a sliver. They're just losing their minds. I haven't seen them like this in a long time, and these guys are jaded. They're jaded old men. So it's like it's actually quite nice. So
that's so funny that they're like into it, kind of just by themselves. I mean, what do you use, Mark? Like when you're getting like, are you more like in person if you can?
So we usually play Theater of the Mind, including now that we're no longer able to be in person because like my brother and his wife are in Ghana right now. So that's not going to work in person. That would be a very,
it's too far, the return trip. Yeah.
And the group we play with every other week are in Boston still from when we were up there. And my college group is just all over the place now. So we play Theater of the Mind, even if we're playing Pathfinder or D&D, which do have a lot of moving parts. And we just kind of rely on spatial geometric knowledge of certain properties of like how things are set up to understand what the situation is. Like, for example, if you're on both sides orthogonally of some creature, like not on the diagonal, then it's definitely true that there's no 1 5-foot step adjustment that can be made to like escape being adjacent from both of them. Just because if you look at it on the grid, you can see that that's true. But if you kind of know that feature and you know enough facts that are like that fact, you can actually play Theater of the Mind, but not be loosey-goosey and be like pretty accurate to what it would be if you weren't playing Theater of the Mind, and that's kind of what we do.
You don't see it. You don't see much of a mechanical sacrifice to it. You're still treating it pretty like spell effects are still kind of how they would work. Like the area of you're still cool.
Yes, and some people told me that they thought it was impossible. And like, what are you doing? Are you really doing that? And like Derek was among that crew. But one of the videos on my RK Mark channel where I ran some other some D&D YouTubers through a game of Pathfinder just had an example of that, because I used the Theater of the Mind style, but where I was keeping track of the grid. And then people were like, wow. One person in the comments of that video was like, I've always heard Mark say that he does this, and I always didn't believe that he did it any of that time. But I just watched you do this, Mark, and I have to apologize. That is what you're doing. I just don't understand.
You know what I love about Theater of the Mind? I've never really done a full session, like a campaign, but I just love the idea that you could be in person and you wouldn't have to be sitting around a table, because you don't need the table, you don't need the tokens. I love the idea that people could be lounging. You could be on the couch. Someone else could be in the kitchen doing something. Someone else could be lying on the floor, and you're just chatting it out like you would have a normal conversation, as long as you can roll a dice somewhere. I love that as an idea, rather than everyone kind of being literally around the table. That degree of like comfort and that communal organization of just having people just lounging around wherever they want to be, and you're still sharing in that game. That to me sounds so fun and relaxing. That's why I would love to do a Theater of the Mind kind of game or two. Just the idea that everyone's just like the idea that you could just be like, you're just hanging out at a house party or something, and it's late, and it's that kind of atmosphere, and someone's like, do you want to play a game? And all you need is the dice roller on your phone, and you could just do it. I think that's so cool.
crazily enough, my Saturday group, one time we were on like a pretty big session, but it was hard to get everyone together. We were going to play like with most, but not one person. But he was like, no, I want to try to make it happen. And so he came to part of the session. He was at an airport in like Sweden or something. And he was on his headphones so that he wasn't bothering anyone. He typed things into the chat instead of like yelling them out loud at the airport. But he was absolutely playing from an airport like many time zones away. It's actually difficult because at that time that he was temporarily in that time zone, we also had a friend who had like moved back to Vietnam to run a company there. And so when you're trying to hit Sweden and Vietnam time zone,
that's a tough.
It's actually very difficult.
That's 3 time zones is usually the killer. You can usually make some time work between you and anywhere on Earth, but when you've got to get 3, if you got to hit Europe,
we had West
Asia
and
America,
US also at the same time as those, and that was just like it was rough. We found something that normally worked where we would do it like either like if it was like kind of late for the US people, it could be very early in the morning for like Vietnam, and another friend who was in Taiwan at part of that time too.
I don't know. I someone said in the chat how they have all these fights. And like we used to have, I mean, we don't really do it, but our guys like they need the grid. They want the grid. They want, like they cannot do theater. Actually, if I did theater of the mind, they would not play. Like I know these guys, they'd be like, nope. I was like, we won't even play if it's theater of the mind. Well, but that's
I guess it could. Yeah, that's your players, isn't it? Yeah, it's fair to it's very fair to like to people to know what they want. And if you're like, look, I'm just not interested in it, bro. Like you can tell me how great. If someone said that to me, you can tell me how great theater of the mind is. I just don't care. I just don't want to do it. It's like, what can you say? It's like, yeah, sure. I'm not going to force you. Like, you can't force you to play a game you don't want to play. I just want to play with you and you have a good time. So if you want to do a grid, that's great,
That's exactly it. It's like they can say, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure it's great. It's like a food you don't like. It's like, oh, I hate, I don't know, whatever, Mexican food. It's like, and like, oh, but it's so good. How can you not eat it? Or like, I know a lot of people that don't eat like fish and they would never have sushi ever. I love sushi. Exactly. I eat it every day if I could. Like but, it's like, look, you could say it's the best thing on planet Earth. I don't care. I'm not eating it. Same thing. It's like, I don't care. I'm not going to play it. Sorry. So there you go. I don't know how you do it, Mark. I mean, we played. I played Theater of the Mind with you. I can do it for short sessions.
You in Theater of the Mind. You understood what I was doing.
I don't mind Theater of the Mind because I'm open to new experiences, but my group is not. They're set in their ways, and they are not.
But you saw what it was like, right? And you said that at the end you were able to tell. You could tell where you were. You knew what decisions you were making from how I described the space to you, we didn't need the.
No. When you did it was very good.
I play with VTTs when other people are running. Almost always Foundry is one of my favorites to play with when other people are running. But I honestly like having less stuff automated on my character if possible, because it's a pain in the butt to update the automated character stuff.
You're completely right.
When I level up.
I don't
like, I run my Eldamon elemental avatar characters without using the module and just type into the chat /R and then roll the dice that I'm doing, because when it's automated and I level up, I have to actually update my character instead of just knowing what it is.
Well, I don't do automation because that's different. So automation, I don't do that much automation, but I do minor automation. Like, for example, we automated like when they did not the lay on hands, so treat wounds, like, because treat wounds is so many rolls, or it can be. So they wrote a macro and it just does all the rolls at once. Little things like that add up. Like that sort of stuff. But and that's easy to macro because it's an action. But I agree. I don't know. Like, also when I do it, I played with, Eric Mona played with me more than once. He's actually played. That's the guy who runs Paizo, and I write everything as a script. Make everything a button. So when he played it, he was like, "Oh my god, this is great!" Because you just go in and press buttons. There's nothing you need to do. It's like, look, you literally don't need to do anything. It's like, you want to do a fight, you want to do an attack, press the button. You want to do a roll, like everything was press a button. He's like, It was great. I just like you double click to your character sheet and press buttons. So I make it automated to that point, but I don't automate everything, if that makes sense. So
yeah, and that was what that was the person who runs Paizo. Did you say that was?
Yeah, Eric Mona.
Yeah. Eric, so they play because I really love
I play
people
with
I
Eric
know.
all the time.
He's in charge of the creative department. He's the publisher, so
He's
he's
the
not
publisher.
like the top person, but he's on the executive team and is in charge of all the creatives that you would know that are like designers and
there's
stuff.
There's a CEO, and she's not really part of the company anymore. There's the president, and then there's Mark.
Or not
Mark, Eric.
No, not
Eric.
me.
Yeah,
Eric.
not you.
Yeah.
But Eric, yes. But Eric's been there the longest by far. Except for
it's just a difference because I really enjoyed working with Paizo, and I appreciated what they did for us, and also just their general kindness and enthusiasm. It's just nice to know that even at the like C-suite level of Paizo, they play, because that certainly isn't the case for other publishing companies.
Mark worked for Paizo for years, as did his wife, so he could tell you all about it if you wanted to. You guys play.
I mean, Paizo is a very special place. It's part of the reason Paizo's culture is part of the reason why Paizo wound up having like the first tabletop RPG union.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I was a part of that. But I mean, Steven poached me like right as we were finalizing the contract. I was on the negotiating team. Yeah, you poached me.
You came
it's
willing.
True. Yeah, but isn't a poaching always the person is willing, because you give them an offer that is so good and this opportunity.
So I didn't Shanghai you. I poached you.
No, not at all. But it was the opportunity to flex my creativity and to get back to doing more design work and fewer meetings and stuff like that.
Meetings. But, we this is our weekly meeting, Mark.
I know. But like, it's a smaller crew, so we can do more direct work, and there's less interfacing. Not that like, I really liked the people I worked with at Paizo. It was amazing. It was actually sad to not work with them anymore, and it was part of when I had to decide to come to Roll for Combat, was that I was gonna miss working with everyone there. But it's definitely a unique environment.
You still work with not most, but a lot of them, because they are all freelancing. I work with
a decent number of them as freelancers or in other things like that. Yeah, but I don't like chat with them on a daily basis I used to.
You could. Nothing's stopping you. They don't even have an office anymore, so it's not like you would be seeing them.
Yeah, but I don't like bothering people by like ramming into conversations with them out of nowhere, because that is one of my flaws as a I keeping connections or advertising myself or whatever it is the case may be, is that I never want to start a conversation because I assume I'm bothering the person.
Yeah, but we got to work on that.
Paizo really, as a company, especially among the workers, and like even among, honestly, some of the good number of the managers and up, like, does have a lot of values in that direction, and some like pretty strong values among other companies that I've seen. Obviously, it's not universal, and that can mean that as a corporation, it will not always make the perfect or good decisions that you would want. Of course, you would think that you wouldn't have had a need for a union if everything was going so completely well either. But to their credit, the Paizo executive team immediately accepted. They didn't challenge or contest the union or force there to be some kind of like a vote thing, or try anti-union tactics of having meetings and being like, unions are bad, they're going to destroy you, and try to mess with the vote. They were just like, yeah, okay, we'll work with you on this. And a lot of other companies don't do that when they're
they're very I know. So like the difference between Paizo and you don't want to. We'll focus on the companies we like. Like, for what it's worth, though, is an interesting thing. Like, when I met with the kind of person at Paizo who could kind of put the seal on Powered Meal and say, yes, we can help. Like, that person of that level of importance. We ended up speaking for like an hour, and we both literally started crying on the call.
What?
Because we were talking about personal experiences we've had with kind of children in our families. That degree of kindness and humanity is just simply not seen. I'm sure you can guess who I'm talking about, right? But like at other companies in the space, it's just not. For some like that idea that someone could, it's a million miles away from any experience I've ever had with the other company. So yeah, I've got a lot of love for Paizo. Again, I'm sure, like, you know, there might be bad stuff too. Like, I've never worked there, I don't know. But
no
like,
company is perfect, but Paizo is full of really great people, and I think, to be honest, that like a huge majority of Paizo is at least really trying to do the right thing, even if they don't get to it perfectly every time for everyone. And I think that's very different than a lot of other companies.
When you get to the sort of $1 billion company size, it gets a bit nasty. So it's cool, you know, just to chat about that kind of stuff. And of course, like, you guys are now the biggest independent Pathfinder publishers, right? Like, outside of Paizo, it's Roll for Combat is.
Yes, we are. But in terms of like sales / money of selling Pathfinder materials, Pathfinder 2 materials, we are the biggest third-party publisher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're working with them all the time anyway, I should imagine.
Kind of.
Well, usually with third-party stuff, you're just kind of using the license, kind of like anyone who publishes on the OGL but doesn't work directly with Wizards of the Coast. Now, we are an exception in that there is a partnership connection in terms of like the RPG Superstar contest we ran in the past. That was actually directly licensed with Paizo, whereas many third parties just kind of use the generic license. But a lot of our content isn't directly related to that, and it is kind of just on the normal third party license.
Yeah, but we're just friendly with them. I mean, we've known them so long, and obviously,
yeah, I mean, these are people who I either worked with directly as coworkers, or they were like my boss or my boss's boss or something like that.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I know from just like talking to them a ton. And Steven has been friends with them from before that too. He had lots of connections at Paizo. That's how he knew me, and we were talking before I joined him.
You know, I mean, also since we're the largest third-party publisher, it's in their best interest that like we work well together.
You want to help each other out, right?
Exactly,
yeah, again,
exactly.
And the fact that they appreciate you, again, that's another big difference between you and like Paizo and other like publishers.
Yeah, at one point Steven was trying to like talk to people, you know, during the tariff stuff to look at like what his options were, and we were like at Gamma, and the Paizo people just were like, we'll directly help to get you some connections with people we know, because we understand that having more stuff, people who make Pathfinder stuff have more options, is good for all of us, and that they just wanted to help. Which, you know, not everyone would do that for one of their third party companies who, you know, they don't really see a percentage of anything that's coming back other than that the community grows. There's more options for their game. Bring
in people. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
By the way, good news for you.
It's fun. I mean, I've never played Pathfinder 2e. But I know.
Hey, hold on. Like, I'll run you through it. You can make a video, or we can do something.
There you go.
Like, you know,
I think it would be a
creator, because I'm one of the 4 creators of Pathfinder 2e. So creator of Pathfinder runs me through an adventure or something like that.
It's funny because I created a species for the free PDF giveaway for Power Word Meal, and then we and D&D 5e, but then it had to be converted to Pathfinder 2e, obviously. So because we wanted both, we wanted people who played Pathfinder to be able to enjoy the PDF as well. So the adventure didn't change very much between D&D and Pathfinder 2e, like very minor changes to the stat blocks and the adventure, but the difference to the D&D species versus the Pathfinder ancestry. I remember my Doug, who's one of my closest friends, who also does the layout, did the layout for that PDF for free. His head nearly exploded when they sent back the Pathfinder ancestry, because it was like it was a 1-page D&D 5e species with a bunch of, you know, species traits.
It will be at least 4 pages in Pathfinder, and even then it would be very, very bare bones at 4. So it's probably
I think it was like 6 pages long, and then like
a
bunch
of
that's so short.
ancestry feats at different levels. He was like, "What do you want me to do with this, Will? What do you want me to do with this? We don't have art for this." It was very. It was. I mean, at the time, it was like, "Oh my god, we're launching in 2 days. You got to do something." But he's a genius, so he did.
Converting into Pathfinder from D&D is actually very challenging. challenging, and it's something that the Pathfinder community is pretty picky about because of the fact that it's not always done from, like, in foreign languages, when you're translating something like from English into Japanese, you want a Japanese speaker to do that translation, not the English speaker who thinks they know it, or vice versa.
Of course,
and a lot of D&D 5e to Pathfinder conversions are done by someone who's an expert in 5e, but kind of mostly knows the PF2 a little. Enough to like that the rules are correct, but it's like you can tell. Just like someone who is American but learns Japanese in school, like maybe the Japanese is formally correct, but you can tell it's not native. And so, like, my wife actually did if you're familiar with Dr. Droland's Dictionary of Dinosaurs.
I am very.
She did
very
the Pathfinder 2 conversion for that, and she told them up front. She says, the thing that you're going to have to be most conscious about is the page count is going to increase, and it's entirely because the species are going to become larger ancestries. And so she explained all that to them in advance because she knew that was going to be something that exactly like your eyes were bugging out there when you were giving the example of the conversation, that she knew otherwise their eyes were going to bug out when they saw what was going to happen.
It's like, what on earth is this? Yeah, I can see now. Yeah, it was folks at Paizo who did the conversion. It was, I don't know if you know, I'll tell you who they were because.
Oh, awesome. Well, that is exactly what you want to do. And
I was like,
they had. Yeah. Who was it? It was Joshua Birdsong and Ron Lundeen.
If you know him. Awesome. Joshua Birdsong is like one of the new designers at Paizo who is on the design team. I say new, but it's not, at this point, he's not even really that new, but new because joined after after your era. Yeah. And then Ron is like a once in future Pathfinder developer because you may be familiar with him from when he was at Wizards a little while ago, but he worked at Paizo and then he worked at Wizards for quite a while, but he recently left Wizards and went back. What?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, like a few weeks ago, and went back to Paizo. So,
wow! So that would have been one of his first missions.
That was probably one of his first, like things that has been revealed and that he can even talk about that has come out that he has done.
I had no idea. That's
why they gave it to him.
That's so funny.
I guarantee they gave it to him because he knows 5e.
He's done several popular ancestries in the past. I know because I was I was the designer who like did the pass on them to get them up to spec. And Ron's were always delightful. They were like pretty much ready to go. But he did Poppets in
he did Poppets
early on. Yeah, he did Poppets. He also did our Orpork ancestry for Indigo Owl.
He actually he wrote the second part of this adventure as well. No,
that's true. But it's not as directly related to ancestries. But
but he's like
he knows adventures very well too. He's extremely knowledgeable about both systems since he worked at. He's probably the only person you could have gotten because Wizards people can't work on anything else because of the non-compete. Who worked on both 5e and Pathfinder 2 directly, because I don't think anyone else on the best.
Well, I don't
think anyone else on the 5e team
got picked up. Yeah, it must have been one of his first things if it was like that recently. Yeah, and well, they did a fantastic job, and I'm incredibly grateful. That is very funny that he walked the door out of Wizards of the Coast and then ended up working with me on something. I didn't even realize that's awesome. In a strange way, that's a powerful. That would not have happened if he was still there. That's for sure. They would not have. But yeah, I mean, they did an incredible job, and that was so wonderful. Like I said, we could wax. I could wax long and lyrical about everyone who helped. And we haven't even. I know we've shouted out you guys and Paizo, but there was like Chapek who did so much incredible stuff, and so did Start Playing Games. And Alchemy, the VTT, which is a stunningly beautiful VTT. More like sort of like atmosphere focused than maybe Foundry's, like, you can do everything. But yeah, so much great stuff. I
was going to say in the future, you start with Pathfinder and go to D&D. You never do the other way around.
It would be much easier.
It's because we do ancestries every month and we do everything for both. And Mark and I were just talking because I was a little upset because our ancestry was only 11 pages long because I normally needed.
It was really funny.
I needed 14 pages.
I keep adding to what we receive And so we've been getting slowly creeping longer and longer. And I was like, Steven, he's like, they've always been this long. But look back to even when we started and they were much shorter than this. Yeah. What we asked people to write was 6,000 to 7,000 words, and this is 7,000 enough. This is over 7,000 words, like already. I just usually, when I'm doing my pass on it, I'll get so inspired by what they've done that I'll add in like an extra section or some extra things. But this time, the author just wrote everything that was needed. I was like, this is a complete expression, and he used pretty much exactly the correct maximum number of words we allowed.
Sort of,
and it was very funny. But it's very true. Starting with Pathfinder first, it's kind of weird, and I get that, like, for a lot of people, the money and therefore the main pull may come from 5e, but starting with Pathfinder first, we found to be much easier. Not even in terms of ancestries, but even in terms of monsters, because the Pathfinder monster design kind of is easier to use to start off with and forces you to make certain decisions that, at least according to some of our 5e bestiary monster book buyers, like, make interesting monsters that they like. Whereas
when you then convert them out,
correct. Mm-hmm. They found that the ones that were converted were more interesting than the average, not more interesting than the best D&D monsters per se, but more interesting on average than the average one. Whereas if you create D&D monsters, you could have perfectly cromulent, well-designed and created D&D monsters, but that wind up being less interesting on the average, according to just like these random people that we saw online who were talking about them. And more importantly, that sometimes when you try to convert them into the Pathfinder monster, you're like, this needs a lot of stuff just completely made up out of whole cloth.
Right, just to get
because there are a lot of D&D monsters that if you look at it, it's like, it is a cool concept with a great piece of art, lore that really tells you what the monster is, and then its stats are just like, it has multi-attack.
Yeah, like maybe, that's a whole different. Yeah,
maybe one other thing. Yeah, and
no, you're right. There's so many D&D monsters they're basically just a wolf or a bear but it deals a bit more damage, or maybe it has a breath weapon. Like every dragon is just the same. That's a whole other discussion we can get into.
Right, but that is actually part of like doing it. Pathfinder first forces you to not do that. Whereas if you do it from D&D side, you can avoid it. Many great monster designers do when designed on D&D side first, but you actually sort of enforce that it happens that way. And then when you convert it to D&D, they wind up looking like the well-designed, better D&D monsters.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, but you guys...
we didn't expect that.
No, but that's a wonderful, like, how the process informs the artistry, isn't it? I love stuff like that. But you guys are doing more. I mean, like, obviously you're publishing Deathbringer quite soon. Are you intending to like do expansions for that as well? Is that something else? Will you be like, I mean, I guess it's too early to say, really. Are we going to convert?
It depends on how it goes, right? Deathbringer could be some gigantic thing because it really is a very famous and popular character. We had people coming into our booth in Gen Con talking about Deathbringer. So there's I think there's a wide range of results to publishing Deathbringer, and that what we do is going to have to be, we have to keep in mind what actually happens. And it could be that there's a lot more coming out after it, or maybe just a little. It just depends on how it goes.
Yeah.
It depends.
It just sounds that fun of converting system to system content, and then you're like, what magic kind of slips through the cracks when you do that? Right. It's invented by that process. Is so cool.
So we made a Shadowdark version of those monsters that already had the 5e and Pathfinder version, and those were very different. But we really got Michael, who is like kind of the under librarian for Kelsey, who does a lot of her logistical stuff and has done like the Roustabout class and other things for Arcane Library. He did those monsters, and they really were able to have a Shadowdark feel to them, but still keep a lot of like the interesting story content from the 5e and Pathfinder versions. And I found those even more interesting than, because like the 5e and Pathfinder ones were like very faithful conversions, even though they were in different systems where you can really, it's like this converts to this, apples to apples, but it's more apples to oranges in Shadowdark, and it gets really interesting from a game design perspective to see what changes, what gets removed, and what stays the same as it was.
Yeah. It's something that I never considered, but I'm thinking about it now because that's the first time we've ever had to do it. I wonder if one day I'll have to talk to Loot Tavern about it, but they would know if they ever wanted to convert the book we made together into a different system. You know, there's so much you could do.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So the math is you always, and this is in design. So you always go from the most. You go to more complex to less, and as you said, it's like an ancestry in traditional D&D is 1 or 2 pages, and an ancestry in Pathfinder, really it's 6. I mean, you can do 4, but it's got to be pretty much 6 is the standard. And ours, because we add so much more to them, are like 12 to 14 pages. But our D&D ones are actually longer. Our D&D ones are 14 to 16 pages long. So we really crank it up. Like we give lots of. You know, there's a lot in ours. You go deeper than the very generic. Yes.
Like, yeah. I mean, the way I always see it with D&D, like my homebrew advice is often like, don't settle for sort of like, if you're making your own homebrew, it's got to be at least better than the official stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Because why would anyone buy it if it wasn't better than the stuff that's just on the shelf? So I do think, going deeper than what they give you in just like a WotC book it is probably the way to go for species and stuff like that. You know, give a little more lore, give a little more imagination, you know.
I think that better is one way to go for it. And there definitely are companies that brand themselves aggressively as like, your thing is not good enough. Our thing is better. But I think that what I like to say is that we want to keep up at least as good production values as what the big companies are doing. I don't like to put a judgment and be like that they're not doing well. I think they are doing well. They have amazing people who are out there writing this stuff. But a small company can put out products that I believe can be like more enchanting and amazing for the right person, because they don't have to be products that corporate thinks will sell to everybody. And most big companies, they can't
the niche. Yeah, you can occupy that niche. Yeah.
They cannot afford to put out that product that only 20% of their people even want to buy, but those 20% are vociferous about it, even 10 to 15 years later are still talking about it and trying to convert it into all of their other games. They can't afford to do that because if only 20% of their usual people buy it, the company
it's a disaster.
Take a huge hit. It's a disaster. Yeah. If it was one of their big slots that they were counting on for the budget, they may go under or experience layoffs. Whereas if you're a small company and you want to do something really weird and difficult and very ambitious, like Eldamon, right? Eldamon, we created 13 elements, each with a unique play style that you can use either through the elemental avatar class, where you're just like a bender of that element, or with the Eldamon trainer, where you have Eldamon that use these elements. And they are an entirely alternate magic system that doesn't use spell slots throughout the day. It took an enormous amount of playtesting and writing to create that. And it's obviously a niche. Not everyone wants to do elemental blasting or like a sort of monster training style thing in their game. Like, there's almost no way that Wizards of the Coast, Paizo, or a big company like that could have published that, at least not responsibly.
No, it would have been you're right. You're completely right. I love that too. I always think there was a book that came out called, it was something like The Guide to Floral Dragons. And it was dragons that were made of, they were just plant dragons. And it did like $1 million on Kickstarter. So it was a runaway success. It was wild. I know it knocked them out of the park. I think it might have been Hit Point Press. I think it knocked them out of the park.
We actually cross-promoted because we're doing dragons at the same time as them, including our Leshy dragon. So I think we each cross-promoted the other as a project. That's
so cool.
We liked in a newsletter.
And it's just like, that's such a niche idea that like no one would, you'd have to be a little crazy to take a chance on that. But yeah.
It came on the show. It was actually great. We talked about like the different kinds of floral dragons, but yeah, absolutely. That's what I think makes third-party work extremely special, because I've been at the big companies, so I can tell you without revealing anything that I can't reveal. I can just tell you that there are behind-the-scenes discussions where the book that gets decided is sometimes the one that needs to be one that It doesn't have to be literally everyone, but at least enough of everyone that you don't lose a lot of people right away are going to want it. And that actually really limits you a lot. And I think that's actually a perfectly like healthy situation for a company that is nice to their third parties. And that's why when I worked at Paizo, I loved third parties. I was always trying to promote and lift them up and talk about them, because a lot of fans were just like, oh, we don't like them, we don't trust them, we don't think the content is going to work. But I was like, take a look at them, because they can make these things that we can't. Or people would give me an idea and be like, you should do thing X, which was really cool. And I would be like, you can do thing X with a third party. Or try, a third party could do this. We can't do it because it is amazing, but not enough people will buy this for Paizo to do it. But it would possibly sell a lot for a third party by third party standards. So I think it's actually a healthy situation for like the ecosystem to be.
No, 100%. Yeah.
So anyhow, so what is next for you, Will? What is the next big project?
Well, when you just finish one, it's always like, oh, good Lord. I am actually really looking forward to just being a YouTuber for a year. Like, I don't want to do anything too crazy. I might write a book on the side. Ryoko's is going out very soon, and that's just done. And then, which has been an incredible journey. I love that so much. But like, it'll be nice to kind of have it just finally put away, and then just enjoy the process of just creating stuff. I mean, and we'll see. I'm really enjoying making these animated videos. So there'll be one hopefully coming out next week. Hopefully it continues to do well. The first one did really well. Like, I think it's my second best performing video of the year. So in terms of long form, and considering it's had no backup, it's completely new to the channel. There's not been other videos pushing it. It's just one random animated video. I really can't wait to explore that some more. But it's hard to go back. It's hard to not be optimistic, isn't it? And like, after being part of this awesome thing with you guys and everyone else, I mean, it's hard not to kind of stride onwards with a lot of hope. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. You kind of take it bit by bit. I mean, you guys have some Kickstarter stuff coming up quite soon as well, don't you? Like, so you guys are always in the thick of it.
Yeah, we've got something coming up in November, probably.
Well, yeah. So we have so every year we put out a year of ancestries. And so we had the year of monsters first, then the year of legends, and now we have the year of titans. And then this year we're doing the year of mysteries. And every month you get a new mysterious ancestry. I mean, we tell you what it is.
And if you go to puzzles.rollforcombat.com right now, we're actually doing puzzles every week that you can solve to like learn more about it. Right now, I think is the hardest one we've done so far.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do this one. Yes.
Steven, did you actually solve that puzzle?
I don't even know how to do this one.
We didn't give you enough time.
Well, yeah, I got it like 2 days or yesterday or something. But
Steven really wanted to change the puzzle for this week to a specific one due to advertising videos, and we did that, but he didn't have enough time to solve it.
Hopefully it works. It looks like it works.
We think it works, but Steven is our best solver because he's not an avid puzzle solver who does a million of these. So he's like he's the perfect tester that you always want, which is the
normal perspective.
No, but what you really want is an incredibly intelligent but not into your thing tester.
Because I keep finding bugs.
Right? Because if someone is too into it, they can actually solve something that has a small bug and not notice the bug because they actually know how to solve it so much that they can go past it without it. Whereas the person who's very good at solving things in general but just doesn't know any of the way things work will always find your bug more easily.
So right now, every week on puzzles.rollforcombat.com, there's a new puzzle. And these are all written by a professional puzzle maker, actually, believe it or not. Works at Paizo.
Like weirdly enough, we've got two puzzle lovers at Paizo, and one of whom his previous job was making puzzles in New York before he moved
professional puzzle maker
to work at Paizo.
And dude, and you've seen
you see these puzzles. You see these puzzles.
This cryptic crossword is this month's one, right?
Yes.
I'm looking at the right one.
It kind of is like a cryptic crossword because it's got like a before and after on each line, and then it's got like these moving across
Cryptid
the
Canyon
lines
is
of
this-
the it's moving across the lines of the puzzle to have these other words that are just kind of in there.
This one's
and
hard.
then you have to find the letters that are circled and put that in to get onto the leaderboard. So we've actually had, I think this is the fifth one.
It's the fifth one. So this is how it works. So every week for the next 13, 12, 13?
12. There are 12 because the other one is a special secret meta puzzle.
Okay, so we will have 12, and then there's a meta puzzle that will reveal the 13th ancestry.
Which will require you to, like, pay attention to all 12 of the regular puzzles.
Previous puzzles.
Previous puzzles. And then...
And then
incredible. During the year, in 2026, each ancestry will have a puzzle with it as well. And then if you solve all the puzzles, we're going to give you a special prize at the end of the year.
We're still working on figuring out what we can include for that, but the ideas that I've been talking with Steven about have seemed really cool to me. So we'll see what we can get in there.
Just the concept alone is so exciting. Like I love puzzles like that. I think that's so cool.
This one was Mark's idea. I'll give him full credit on this because he knew about
respect. Yeah.
Well,
and
he knew
mysteries. That's a cool theming as well. Like
because like Year of Monsters was easy because you played monsters. Your Legends was easy because you played legendary. We kind of changed it. It's monsters, but it was like legendary monsters.
And Year of Titans was interesting because we started adding a meta plot to the different species where there was like a connection back in the past in our world. And so Year of Mysteries, I think, is really going to be fun. And I will take most of the credit, but Steven, I'm gonna give you a little credit on that because you came up with a lot of good mysterious ancestry ideas when you gave me the brainstorm list.
I did come up with the
and when you did, I was like, okay, Steven, but we need to do puzzles with this.
Yeah, that's right. Well, then we figured out how to do it. But so we have our own world, and it's the world of Alucard. And we're starting to really expand it quite a bit, actually, because we have our own religion system in there. And the religion's really cool because the religion is a family and the gods, they walk the earth. There's actually, it was funny because in my game, everyone in my Jewel the Indigo Isle game, there's no question if religion works because the gods literally walk the earth. Like they're just there. And so people, because they know gods exist, because they see them, and they're part of the everyday life, religions are very different in this world because they know it exists and because they actually know that these gods are here. It's a much stronger part of everyday life. Plus, we have the Eld, which is responsible for all the Eldamon. So that's a pretty interesting part. But plus, we have our dragons, and that world, Alucard's getting pretty cool. Actually, I kind of like our world that we've been building.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're actually like really building it up, and other people are starting to get into it as well. Well, I figured it out. Our world is very similar to One Piece, and I didn't quite realize that until after we built it. And I was like,
I think that's specifically the region that we have a regional world source book for, which is the Indigo Isles. Is extremely similar to One Piece.
Very similar.
There are definitely areas of Alucard that aren't that much like One Piece, but those are not the ones we've talked about.
We're never going to leave the Isles. We could never leave. We did
probably
one
won't because of
we did something the size of Hawaii, and then we never left it because it's just like there are other parts of the world. I actually have a whole world map. I just never got around to it.
But the problem is that world books just don't. Just like we talked about certain things, world books don't do as well unless they are a major breakout success.
Yeah, they don't sell.
It's either going to be some gigantic thing where the Kickstarter makes like $1 million somehow and you include your world book, or it's going to be your lowest seller out of all the products you have. That's not just us. That's true.
No, that's across the board. Yeah.
We Paizo, any other company.
On Kickstarter, it's always the same. People just don't. They don't. You have to trick them.
It's not even about just tricking them. It's a supply and demand question, if you think about it. Because what is the thing that people need the least? It's an entirely new campaign setting.
Right.
Because player rules, you might need a new spell anytime your wizard gets a new spell in their spell book or your sorcerer levels up, right? a new adventure, every time you finish an adventure, if you use published adventures, you might need that. It's still, you need that less than spells. But an entirely new setting, just like we were talking about with the food being an easy connection, an easy, quick thing, an easy sell, an entirely new setting is the hardest sell. Because people who have settings that they like are very invested in those settings. They
don't want to leave. Yeah.
So
no, I know.
I think people leave
like
the least.
It's the Drakkenheim is definitely one of the most successful ones. Like, and I know the Dungeon Dudes quite well, so full shout out to them. But yeah, even their Drakkenheim setting is it's not just a setting. Like their Drakkenheim books contain subclasses and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just the setting is also there. You know what I mean? So you kind of sneak it in with player options.
That's what we do.
It's not.
Yeah, no, we do that now with all of our all of our products tie into our world directly. Right. So,
but we don't want to do something where it's we don't want to do something where it's just like, this is mostly just our world. We've thrown in a few player options that we know you want, and now you're buying this book we instead do things that are like, this is mostly player options. Mm-hmm. And here we're going to talk about how this ties into our world, but also how you can use it if you're not using our world. And we want to make it very easy to use it for any setting, but also put in so many little breadcrumbs of our world and connections that you might get interested. I'm hoping that over time, that will cause enough interest in the world that we can do more world books.
So so we're doing this World of Year of Mysteries. And so we do this, we release a new ancestry, race, species, whatever you want to call it, every month. We do it digitally only. And we do it both as a PDF as well as for VTT. But we also release things like tokens, we release maps, we release animated tokens. We release a lot. And then we usually convert it into this. This is just a book. This is just 12 ancestries. Just give you an idea. Like if this was for D&D normally, this would be 12 pages.
Meaty, huh?
Yeah, this is how big ours is because we put a lot into these. So ours are pretty big. And then, so that's out now, and that comes out next month, definitely. Well, sometime next month. And because the only problem is it has to start on time because it comes out in January. Like the first one comes out in January, we do it every month.
You're locked into that yearly schedule.
We're locked into it.
Yeah.
But
so
then,
no delays.
No delays. Then
we've always been on time.
Yeah, we're always on time. Then we are doing. So Eldamon is one of our biggest books, and that's basically Pokemon, Digimon, in the world of D&D and Pathfinder. And people have been asking for new ones, so we are going to be doing Eldamon Legends, and that is going to be something similar where you're going to be getting regular releases of new books for each elemental power and new Eldamon that you can find in your world and summon or befriend, as well as the legendary ones. And the legendary ones have their own rule sets and everything. We'll get into that. So that people are pretty excited about, I know, because we don't have, like, the Eldamon book was so big, but the very first thing people was like, we want more Eldamon. It's like, okay, that's great. We want more. I was like, okay, well, here you go. You're going to get a lot more. So we're going to have a lot. It's 152. I think it is 152 more Eldamon will be added to the world.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
I think Mark's thinking now.
I think it may be even more than that.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
You do the math. Well,
I think it's 156.
156. Oh, okay. I was off by.
You were very close.
I was off by 4.
I think 162 is how many the original book had. So you probably took the final digit from that.
The 5. Yeah.
Okay, I was off.
It's basically doubling the number that we previously had. And we can do it. There's 13 elements, right? So we can do it every month, and then we've got one left over as a bonus.
One left over, and then
wonderful.
And then Deathbringer comes out.
Yeah, that's of course, yeah. And I'm excited for that because I love Prof. And I got to meet him finally at Gen Con this year briefly. And his wife too.
Well,
which is so sweet that they came together. Like
I hang out with him pretty much all the time, so you'll be hanging out and saying us quite a bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's a great dude. I'm excited for that.
We have more after that. We have actually some secret ones that were pretty much further along than even I'm actually kind of stunned how far along we are. And that's because usually we're kind of bad at this, but actually I got way ahead on this one. So way ahead.
Oh, there's nothing better than...
the secret one is
already. That's exciting. Yeah, they feel so good to have that locked in. You know what I mean? Where you're like, it's like when you're like 3 or 4 videos ahead on the channel. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm on top of the world. You know, like you're not scrambling every week.
Yeah. Plus we still have the Shadowdark books to do. Those are getting close. Actually,
there's gonna be a whole contest for them.
Yeah,
once they lock in the payments
until next month.
Kickstarter was like testing a
they added
gradual pay-as-you-go thing, and then that means
I've seen that.
They just added it. I didn't know about it.
They just added it, but the problem with it is that those people can't do their backer kit until they're done paying.
Correct.
Oh,
and therefore we don't, since we don't have the surveys out, there's a lot of stuff we needed to give them materials so they could do the contest. It wouldn't be fair to the people who did the pay over time if they had much less time.
They had 2 months less than everyone else.
The people who paid all at once. So therefore we had to delay the entire contest until the pay over time was done.
Correct. Which won't be till next month.
Yeah, it's interesting how these things roll on. But yes, I see that.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
Oh well, so the future is bright on all counts then. We got plenty. We're not slowing down.
Oh no. When we were talking about doing Daggerheart stuff, but the Daggerheart stuff, Daggerheart was kind of a shame because my people I was contacts with and were at Daggerheart, combination that they left. So I still have contacts there, but my main contact left. And then after that, they got so busy and so big that I really haven't talked to them that
they
much.
Are busy.
They're I mean, like I sent emails that they didn't get back to, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, that was on a topic that I tried to at least get those back." I'm so sorry. When I met them in person, then they took care of it. Yeah, but I understand it. Like it's not busy. Personal. They just have way more coming into them than they expected to have for the number of people they have to handle it.
Yeah, I think they need to expand, don't they? Darrington, they gotta. They're way too small.
Yeah, they're really.
But yeah,
small.
I mean, like Daggerheart's an interesting one. Like in terms of Kickstarter strategy, which I like to keep an eye on. Like we've seen quite a few. We haven't yet seen a huge Daggerheart Kickstarter.
Well,
so maybe the Darrington, maybe the Daggerheart Drakenheim one will be big.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is also their contract, and like there's a lot of the reasons, and also there's a lot of stuff coming out for it, but no one big yet. But plus, how many things can be like? We're a small team, so I was like, okay,
we're tiny, but it would be fun if we got something to work together.
I got Shadowdark. Shadowdark is because I think we're the largest, because now we're the largest third party publisher for Pathfinder. We're also the largest third-party publisher for Shadowdark. How many could I be?
Exactly. You're right.
It's tough, but I think Daggerheart would be a good match for us. I think in terms of like the vibe of some of our content matches Daggerheart more easily right away than it would. Shadowdark, we were able to get there by Michael's extremely talented work to create a Shadowzoo, but Daggerheart, it's just like almost, and I was talking to some of the Darrington people about this at Gen Con, and they were definitely agreeing. It's a very strong thematic match.
Yeah,
just in terms of what's already in the setting and what we have in our setting.
Our stuff's really close to theirs, but we'll see how other people. I mean, we have enough going on, and we got more. We got way more coming up. The Shadowdark got delayed also just because I had to do 600 pieces of art in the Shadowdark style, so that's taking me a little while.
Yep.
Art is slow. You can't, especially when you've got good people. You can't do anything about that.
Well, now I think this will be our record, because I already do something like 400 or 500 pieces of art a year, but now with Shadowdark, I think I'm going to do like 1,200 pieces of art in 1 year. So
yeah, that is unbelievable. Yeah. I'll have to ask Mo how many we did for our book together.
No one does as much as we are. Insane. Like I am insane.
No, because you publish a lot of, but you're publishing a lot of books as well. Yeah, no, I mean, we must have done many hundreds, but not Lord knows how many.
Oh yeah. Well, my rule is I try to put a piece of art on every page, pretty much. So if we have 100-page book, we have probably close to 100 pieces of art.
I would say that we put one on every spread. So when it opens,
definitely
it has
every
a piece
spread.
Of art. And if it's a bestiary, like these Shadowdark books, we do put it on every page, more or less.
It depends on the content. Well, it's hard to put it on every page.
That's a lot more art than you find in like the monster sections of the Shadowdark books, like the core Shadowdark book, for example.
Yeah, we put so much art in our books. Just pretty much D&D and Paizo. I think, are the only ones who really do as much as we do at this point, because it's a lot. It's a lot of art. Anyhow, well, thanks for coming on. I actually,
it was all lovely. Yeah, thank you so much for being what you guys are in the community, for being the community leaders that you are, for helping with Powered Meal in lots of ways, not just in for what it's worth. It's not just for people at home. I'll say it again. It's not just when you get to work with people on something like Powered Meal. It's not just the financial support. It's not just that you saved lives, which it obviously is the most important thing, but also just the kind word and the friendship when you are that busy. Because Powered Meal kicked my ass. It was so much work to put together. Those little moments of calm in the storm where you just get to sit down with someone and chat about it were very powerful. So I'm really grateful for today and also for last week. It meant a lot. Yeah. So it was lovely to be here.
We'll have you on again. Actually, we still need you on to do your Mark runs you through Pathfinder.
Pathfinder game sometime. Yeah, because I know a couple of years ago, I know the rules lawyer was trying to get me to do one as well.
Ron.
I've forgotten the name.
Ron.
Yeah, Ronald.
Ron. Yeah, exactly. And I missed the opportunity then.
It's easy to mistake because there's Ronald the rules lawyer, the YouTuber, and Ron Lundeen, who is also a lawyer who can and does work sometimes, like just pro bono in the state of Washington, who also sometimes goes as being a rules lawyer, but is not the same Ronald who is a rules lawyer.
Oh, by the way,
I've had chances. There are people I mean to play with it somewhere, so it would be good. I mean, but like you said, and also I feel like it'd be good it'd just be healthy for the channel to get some Pathfinder content out there too. Sometime, I think that'd be a great video. I think a lot of people are interested, but just dipping their toes into it would be wonderful.
I can tell you at least that if you did start doing a little bit of stuff with the Pathfinder community, that kind of thing, especially if you kind of look at it and talk about your experience and some of the things you liked and didn't like, that kind of thing gets to the top of like almost every Pathfinder 2 social like grouping, because they're just very excited about a big channel.
They're like
trying things out.
They're ravenous.
They get very excited because like Joe Cat was doing it and they were all talking about that, and XP to level 3 was doing it and they were all talking about that.
I mean, those guys are the absolute best, I mean, who wouldn't be?
Absolutely. But it's just the kind of thing that they are interested in, because the experience of a lot of people in those social media communities is that they really love their game, and they think that if people tried it, that they would find things that they love too. And so when that actually happens, they get really happy and excited, and it's just a fun place. Obviously, when people try it and then trash the game, they get very salty.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, that's why
I'm certain I would love it. Right? Like it. Yes.
I think
it's the artificial.
Pathfinder, real quick. It's not the easiest game. It's simple as that. And you actually do need a pretty good, in my opinion, I think
it's easier to GM than 5e, but it's much harder to be a player because of and that's
you need
actually
a good
connected.
GM. You need a very good GM and a patient one who knows the rules and can really keep it going and just not get, because some people get hung up because there are so many rules that people can get really hung up on rules, and you need a GM who just keep going. I'll take care of the rules and don't worry about it. Like, that's the thing. When everybody's like, don't worry about it. Just roll a die, roll a d20. Okay, you made it. Like, they don't have to worry about plus this, minus this. It's like, as the GM, if you know it, you could just do it. And as Mark is the guy who wrote the rules, I don't think you need to worry too much.
Yeah, well, that'd be wonderful. Well, I'm sure. Like, again, it's one of those things. That's the wonderful thing about YouTube as well. Is it never ends. Like, your schedule stretches on to infinity. Like, as far as ahead as you think you are, you're going to need a video idea soon. So I'm certain that at some point we'll be able to get that to happen. Some kind of Pathfinder video would be wonderful. But yeah, all right, but we're wrapping up. Well, it was lovely to be here. Again, like, thanks so much, for letting me on. It's lovely to hang out, and I guess I'll see you guys all soon at PAX U. Like,
see you in Philadelphia.
Yeah. See you in Philly.
We'll be there, and let me know. You're not coming in early. Oh, it's a shame you didn't come into New York. You see, you should fly into New York. It's only 2 hours away.
Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have tacked on a few days as a holiday. No, but I'm just flying in and flying out. Yeah, I think I get in on the Thursday, fly out on the Monday, when it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing.
Shame. I keep telling, because all my
Steven's showing some people around you coming in early.
Yeah, I'm telling other people, like, come in from the UK and from Europe, like, come in a little early and come to New York.
Get the tour.
and just I can show you around a little, and then
it feels crazy that I've never visited New York. One day it'll happen, but like it is not this year. Not after all the shenanigans.
Well, I'll tell you this: a day or two is not nearly enough. It's a little big, to say the least. It's a little big, but yeah. No, we'll have you on again, or whenever you want, man. Whenever you want. We need someone all the time.
Yeah. Well,
I know Derek's pissed missed you.
Yeah, you guys rolling them off, and I love it. So yeah, and I need more streaming experience. So it's not hurting. It's not hurting to have some chats.
No streaming experience. You have tons of streaming. Oh, a live streaming.
No, he means live
streaming.
You did great.
Yeah, this is like the fourth time I've ever done it. Yeah. So
you did great. I know at the beginning you were nervous about it, but you did a very good job.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got a good environment. Welcome environment.
It was all right.
But yeah.
Oh, Steven.
Can't make his first one too good. You need to have some room for improvement.
That's true. Yeah.
He got his background working. That's all that matters.
We did get the background working. Yeah.
And otherwise people would be like, well, who is this guy? I don't recognize him.
It's nothing without the background.
Well, that's right. That's not a small thing. Got to be. If I didn't have my books behind me, no one would know who I was.
I know. It's it's all the branding.
And if Mark wasn't in a jail cell with his dragons behind him, no one would know either. Oh, we kid. It's not a jail cell. It just looks like one. All right. Well, are you going to say the line, Mark?
All right. Until next time, if you want to battle the zoo, you have to roll for combat.
Yeah.
Roll for combat.
I don't even know why we came up with